Well, he knows what he wants, don't you, Rocco?
Sure. What's that?
Tell him, Rocco.
Well, I want,
He wants more, don't you, Rocco?
Yeah, that's it. More. That's right, I want more.
Will you ever get enough? Will you, Rocco?
Well, I never have.
This week on our second Noirvember episode, we're talking about John Huston's 1948 film noir, Key Largo. Released just 7 months after John Huston directed The Treasure of the Sierra Madre.
Badges. We ain't got no badges. We don't need no badges. I don't have to show you any stinking badges.
Better not come any closer.
Also starring Humphrey Bogart, Key Largo is the fourth and final collaboration that Bogart did both with his wife Lauren Bacall and his fifth and final collaboration with Edward G. Robinson, as well as Lionel Barrymore, Claire Trevor, Harry Lewis, Thomas Gomez, and John Rodney. It's John Huston's last film for Warner Brothers on a contract after having contracts first as a writer then as a director from 1937 to 1948. This period is also considered Huston's breakout period. Following this, he had moved to be independent, working with MGM and United Artists for a run of films like Asphalt Jungle and The African Queen. Based on a Broadway play by Maxwell Anderson, who was a reactionary conservative playwright, the play is about the cowardly King McCloud, who went to the Spanish Civil War and deserted, fighting Mexican bandits to save the family of an actual war hero. Huston hated the play and found it extremely lacking, but was convinced to come aboard by Jerry Wald, who had bought the rights. Huston and Richard Brooks, who as a director and screenwriter adapted Cat in the Hot Tin Roof, Upton Sinclair's Elmer Gantry, and Blackboard Jungle, turned the reactionary play into something totally different. Huston was a liberal Democrat, a supporter of FDR, like Humphrey Bogart was. In the late 1940s, after FDR's death, the House Un-American Activities Committee began going after all levels of the film industry. It was John Huston who took action by creating the Committee for the First Amendment, along with William Wyler and Philip Dunn. Bogart was famously supposed to join as the most high-profile star in a protest against HUAC, but at the last minute, an inordinate amount of pressure involving both Bogart's failing production company and career were placed on him over his denunciation of HUAC's targeting of the Hollywood 10, finally leading him to recant his denunciation in a photoplay article entitled, "I'm No Communist." This put a whole lot of strain on his relationship with John Huston.
Bogart and Bacall, along with other stars, flew to Washington to protest.
We sat in the committee room and heard it happen. We saw American citizens denied the right to speak by elected representatives of the people. We saw police take citizens from the stand like criminals. We saw the gavel of a committee chairman cutting off the words of free Americans. The sound of that gavel, Mr. Thomas, rings across America. Because every time your gavel struck, it hit the First Amendment to the Constitution of the United States.
I was surprised to read a few days after I got back to California that Bogey had recanted. And I talked to him about it when he came back out. He said he thought that we had made a mistake in this. I regarded it as a mistake that Bogey did this. He should have stuck to his guns.
All of this happened between late 1947, when Bogart and Huston were finishing up Treasure of the Sierra Madre, which had filmed during the summer, and March 1948, which is when Key Largo wrapped up shooting. Key Largo, for John Huston and his committee member and friend Richard Brooks, is a primal scream against the unfairness of the House Un-American Activities Committee.
Looks like you don't want it enough, what you want. That's the last one. Something's funny for a change.
One Rocco, more or less, isn't worth dying for.
In the film, Frank McCloud, a World War II veteran who is in fact a hero, visits the family of a fallen comrade in Key Largo. His wife, Nora, played by Lauren Bacall, and his father, James Temple, played by Lionel Barrymore, who run a hotel together. Becoming stranded unexpectedly in Key Largo during a hurricane, it slowly dawns on McCloud that the closed hotel, which has been rented out for the week, is inhabited by the entourage of the infamous gangster, Johnny Rocco, who has come back to America after supposedly being deported to make a deal to sell millions of counterfeit dollars to a mob associate named Ziggy.
You can see the headlines, can't you? Local deputy captured Johnny Rocco. Your picture would be in all the papers. You might even get to tell on the newsreel how you pulled it off. Yeah. Well, listen, Hick. I was too much for any big city police force to handle. They tried, but they couldn't. Took the United States government to pin a rap on me. Yeah, and they won't make it stick. You hick.
Johnny Rocco, played in the sinister and manic performance by Edward G. Robinson, is based off of Congressman J. Parnell Thomas, chairman of the House Un-American Activities Committee from 1947 to 1950. Huston considered him a fascist and a gangster and a criminal. He was right. Thomas would go on to be arrested for giving kickbacks to his niece and her maid and doing salary fraud in 1950, serving out a prison sentence at Danbury Prison along with Lester Cole and Ring Gardner Jr., two screenwriters he had gotten arrested as part of the Hollywood 10.
Do you know what you want?
Yes, and I had hopes once, but I gave them up.
Hopes for what?
A world in which there's no place for Johnny Rocco.
Yeah? Okay, soldier.
Frank McCloud isn't a coward in Houston's Key Largo. He's a cynical person who's completely fed up with the state of the world he was promised would be better after World War II. Instead, gangsters and thugs like Johnny Rocco are allowed to get away with continuing to control the country and walk around with impunity. The classic Bogart, I only care about me and mine attitude, which is always just a mask that slips off when the less fortunate or those he grows to care about are in trouble, is compared to a head saying one thing and a whole life saying another. I believe today we'd call Frank McCloud a bit black-pilled. It's an intense drama, much of it taking place during a crazy hurricane that ends up wrecking part of the hotel while they all stand inside. There's also a subplot where two Seminole Indians have escaped from prison where they've rejoined their tribe, and two cops are poking around the hotel looking for them, showing up at the worst times possible. Mr. Temple has a good relationship with the Seminole who live around him and often tries to help them, showing the good nature of people that's supposedly inside of Frank McCloud too, but is under a massive cynicism and darkness. There's also a broken alcoholic former singer named Gay Dawn who's tortured by a cruel Johnny Rocco who's trying to force her into sobriety during a hurricane, where she's forced to give an incredibly pathetic rendition of Moanin' Low for a drink. For those scenes, Claire Trevor, who played Gay Dawn, would get the Best Supporting Actress Oscar.
Moanin' low, my sweet man, I love him so. Though he's mean as can be, he's the kind of man, he's the kind of woman like me.
The climax of the film is Frank McCloud stranded with Rocco's mafia goons on a boat to Cuba, trying to figure out how to take them out one by one. I'm sure that the film's transformation of Frank McCloud into a true war hero he once was made it extra painful when Bogart gave in to his own cowardice and wrote that anti-communist article just weeks after filming ended.
He's all right, Dad. He's coming back to us.
Before I introduce the panel, please like this video and subscribe to the Movie Night Extravaganza YouTube channel. Then hit that bell to get notified whenever we're streaming. Super chats are now open. If you have any pressing questions, send us a super chat, which helps me maintain the expenses for the show, which I am obligated by the rules of the Geneva Convention to stop everything and ask the panel. Another way to help us out is to become a patron and give us money every month. In exchange, you get access to all of our after parties, bonus content, and we'll tell you even more movies we watched recently. Patreon.com/Movie Night Extra. We have a Movie Night Extravaganza Discord. There's an invite link in the episode description, and we have a Letterboxd HQ account. So those are two more places to follow along with us. Okay, let me introduce the illustrious panel. We are live right now on This Space. If you aren't following them, join This Space TV on YouTube. Link below. Conan Neutron is the co-host and senior producer for Movie Night Extravaganza, host of Protonic Reversal, an independent Film Critics of America film critic, and the frontman for the band Conan Neutron and the Secret Friends. Check out his music at neutronfriends.bandcamp.com. Kristina Oakes is a co-host of Movie Night Extravaganza, a streamer on Twitch, twitch.tv/cosmopolitics, a host at This Space, hosting Kristina's Corner, and is across social media at Cosmopolitics and on Letterboxd at Kristina. McKenzie Wilkes hosts the Criterion Connection, the Austin Danger Podcast, and the Above the Line Film Podcast. I, of course, am your host who wants more. That's right, I want more. Forrest Miller. Johnny Rocco.
There it is, everybody. There it is.
Johnny Rocco.
I'd like to officially call McKenzie, welcome back, by the way, our chief Bogart correspondent, because I know what a big fan she is. So I'm going to give you that designation right now. It's in your title, Bogey Devotee. Welcome back, by the way. What an honor it is to have you for.
I wish we had her on for as another panelist when we did Treasure of the Sierra Madre.
Yeah,
a movie that literally is permanently coupled with this, which I had no idea about the timeline. Because I obviously knew about Bogart, I think everybody knows the Bogart story where he recanted on his anti going after the Hollywood 10 stuff. Like, he got off the plane and all of a sudden he was like, maybe I shouldn't be doing this, and then he instantly recanted it pretty much. But I didn't know about the timeline being that brief, where it's a few weeks after he finished filming Key Largo. He got back to California because obviously they filmed this in in parts of Florida, and he got back to California and was just I don't know about all this, man. Really disappointed John Huston, and strained their friendship up until African Queen, which I watched today finally, because I've always wanted.
You've gone through your whole life and never watched African Queen?
I've started African Queen, I think 10 times.
I've never seen it all the way through.
Yeah,
I haven't seen it either. Yeah.
Yeah, the technicolor.
What is wrong with people?
The technical, it's just too much for me. I get the beginning of it, and it gets better. The coloration part gets better, but I've always had trouble getting through the first half hour of it, because it's I don't know, the color just makes me feel I don't know. It might be some kind of neurodivergent thing for me.
Yeah, I don't feel the need to justify myself. I just haven't seen it all the way through.
It's a shame I haven't, because I've been saving it kind of near the end of my journey, because I've kind of been going through his filmography in order, and so I'm saving it. I should watch it soon. I am saving his final film for my last Bogart film I watched, though. But
see, that's almost more shocking, because you are again our chief Bogart.
I know. I mean, I think it's probably the last big one of his that I need to see that I still haven't. A lot of the other ones I haven't seen I haven't seen Caine Mutiny yet. I need to watch the last 5 years of his career, pretty much. But I've watched over 50 films of his, which is overkill.
Pretty good. I mean, yeah.
But, he is the greatest actor of our time. The greatest Hollywood actor.
Our time? I don't know if it's our time.
I said all time.
I'm the closest one to the claim of that. It ain't that close. But yeah, it's old Hollywood for a reason, right? When we think of, and I once again, and I think we talked about in Treasure of Sierra Madre too, that the Looney Tunes characterizations, as a kid, you see the cartoon version of Humphrey Bogart. And actually, we did talk about it because we had Eileen. I remember we talked about that for a while. And this is the same way. Edward G. Robinson, he's just it was oh, that's a gangster character. It's no, that's a guy who played a role one time and was very good at it, and essentially typecast generationally because
he played more cops than he did. He played more cops. He played more during that time period, right? His big he said he played 5 gangsters, I think, in his entire career, which his career spanned for a long time.
You only need one.
Yeah.
Well, also too, a lot of cartoon characters were based off of him, a character from the Anthill Mob on Wacky Racing, because that's what I first heard of. And then when I was watching these films, I'm like, wait a minute, this guy's been spoofed, I'm assuming.
Yeah, and that started with the Looney Tunes thing, which was very just on the nose, and then kind of that just became oh, this is an archetype of a character, which then led to Simpsons and so many other characters where it's oh, no,
see what gangster sounds like.
This is what a cartoon gangster sounds like, and it's so crazy because it wasn't even the main thing he did. It wasn't he was the guy that always got called into the gangster roles. Not at all.
Most of the times I've seen him, he's played kind of a dork. Double Indemnity, he's kind of dorky. He's kind of he's I know something, I gotta sniff something out. I know y'all talked about Double Indemnity, so that's completely different than this role. And then I recently just did a double feature of his for Noirvember of The Woman in the Window and Scarlet Street, and in both those movies he plays sad sack lonely dorks who are having trouble dating. That's kind of what I associate him with.
Yeah, I think one of the things obviously is the Chief Wiggum, as Conan said, the Sims. I think it's the fact that he's been permanently put into the canon as the Chief Wiggum voice, where it's just hey everybody, see. But I think his cop, he's one of those rare people that got to play both the cop, which I think played the cop way more than he played the gangster.
Right. And from a sheer numbers game. But when he played a gangster, this is it's one of the great film gangsters of the old Hollywood, right? So I mean. Hey,
Bogart probably played gangsters more than him because, like,
Yeah,
in all
probably,
of his early films, he's just in the background, being a bad guy.
I always think of pork chops and applesauce.
I think his gangster, I mean, like the one from Petrified Forest or whatever, right? Like his version of a gangster is far more like what we consider almost like a serial killer or something like that today, right? Or the drifter. Yeah. It's like his version of a gangster, or his version of like a terrifying guy is like a guy that you let stay at your hostel and he like murders your family. Like that was, and then he didn't do that for very long. Like he did that for a very short part of his career. But he was so good at playing drunk, like, which is it's a way harder thing than you think. Yeah. I mean, unless you're just gonna show up drunk, which he's not. Like he's not.
What is this, Jaws?
Yeah, anyway. He's not Errol Flynn. He can't really. He probably can't.
Errol Flynn. Yeah. Oh man.
Show up like I'm Robin Hood, bitch.
Like. Well, and think about we talked about In a Lonely Place with Harry Marks, right? We talked about that, and how that might very much. We did not do it for a noir month, but it definitely fits in that as well, and that's just a different characterization of that. That type of character, because he's a screenwriter there, but it may as well be a detective, and it's something that it works so effectively. It's so well, it's so underrated as a film. And so it's interesting that when we think of Bogey as the hero, right? Well, what are we talking about? Well, mostly Key Largo, Casablanca, even Treasure Sierra Madre. Look, people only remember the good parts. Like this, there's a lot of just being in it for yourself, right? I mean,
he's
good
a bad
parts.
guy in that. He's a selfish.
He's not a good dude at all. Yeah. Despite having an iconic look, and
also Maltese Falcon, which is a movie that John Huston made. Nobody knew who he was at that point. Like his career is so intrinsically linked up with Bogey's career, because at the time neither of them were really these giant stars, and both of them. I mean, think about Chinatown, right? Like John Huston would go on to not just be a director. He's like a genius. He's an actor. He's a director. He's an editor. Like he did all of those things. Later on, screenwriter. You know what I mean? Like he's all over the place.
And also, he gave us some pretty talented kids.
He also killed two people in
Danny.
He also killed two people in drunk driving accidents, and nobody talks about that part of it. That's why he had to stop being a screenwriter. They made him disappear for a little while, and he came back.
John Landis in the Twilight Zone movie. People forget that he killed Jennifer Jason Leigh's dad.
Right? Didn't that be fresh?
Yeah.
But there was the story, and I don't know how this happened, that this came up, but there's the story that I don't know if he pinned it on them or someone else did. He basically blamed it on Clark Gable, who was not even in the area at the time. And the story went around that one of the people that John Huston hit with the car.
What would be the modern equivalent of that? It was Ryan Reynolds. Yeah. What would be the modern equivalent?
First of all, the only really horrible thing Clark Gable did was rape Loretta Young in a date rape and gave her a daughter that she didn't want. So
just nobody knew who John Huston was at this time, right? Like it went under the radar because this is when he was really young and he was
early in his career. Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. So he was in the car and he hit he hit someone. He hit an actress with his car. And there was a rumor that went around that it was actually Clark Gable that did it, and he made a deal with I forget his name, but it's the Josh Brolin basically parodies him in Hail Caesar, the fixer that they had, the famous fixer that they had.
Yeah. Doesn't matter.
For MGM.
It's irrelevant to the episode. Let's move on.
So basically, the rumor went around that he was paid off to say, "Oh, I killed that one with the car," but it was actually Clark Gable. But after that, people went around and said like, "Oh no, Clark Gable was like shooting a movie in a completely different state."
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. That's just something I found out while researching this episode that I was like, "Holy shit, twice!"
Yeah, it's weird that happened twice.
So nice it happened twice.
But it's crazy that 48 is Key Largo and Treasure of Sierra Madre. Like they both come out in 1948, which is nuts. And so Huston, Maltese Falcon is his first movie, I think, if I remember right. His first his first
when he came back after that whole
the thing you just talked about, great length. And then there's a couple other things in between there, but when you think of John Huston, you think about his iconic movies. It's like you're gonna be thinking of Key Largo, you're thinking of Treasure Sierra Madre, maybe Misfits. You're probably not thinking of Annie. Yeah. At least if you're a cinephile.
He also Moulin Rouge. I mean,
that's right. Yeah.
And Zsa Zsa Gabor was in that one, right? I think.
And
the 52 one, yeah.
And I believe this is the first
Beat the Devil.
John Huston movie I watched even before Maltese Falcon. Moby Dick, the 1956 version of it. That one of the famous ones that everyone was like, I don't know how this works so well with Gregory Peck.
Yeah, okay. A lot of things to go there, but for me, some of the first kind of old Hollywood movies I saw was Maltese Falcon and Key Largo. Like to the point that like I felt, even though I hadn't seen it in years, I was like, oh no, I remember every like frame of this because I just saw it like very early on. It was one of those things where you kind of just internalize something. It's like, oh yeah, like you don't have a Hateful Eight without a Key Largo, period. Like you don't have any like single location kind of just like tense, sweaty interactions with each other. That none of that happens without Key Largo. And I was trying to think of other than 12 Angry Men. Yeah, it's the icy guy. Other than 12 Angry Men, I can't think of a sweatier movie around this time period.
Yeah, dude,
it's so sweaty.
All right, so I saw Key Largo for the first time. I said this last week during COVID, and I remember just one of the things I remember is just how much sweat and how much.
Oh, it's awesome.
But I forgot that like other things are added to it. So it's like Lauren Bacall famously spits on Edward G. Robinson in his face, and then there's like so he already has perspiration all over him, and then he also has the spit going down. Like the movie is just so fucking wet. It's one of the wettest.
It's a very wet movie. Yeah. You're right. You're right.
You know what's interesting? When I rewatched Key Largo, I was like, wait a minute. I rewatched this movie that called Watching the Detectives with Cillian Murphy's a romantic comedy with Lucy Liu, and he kind of plays like a film nerd like us who owns like a video store that's classic movies, B movies, and he's obsessed with films. And he dates her, and she's like this like almost like dame in a film noir film. And she's like, how come you don't realize that you're the schmuck falling for like the dame who's always, coming in to ruin things. He's like, well, Key Largo, the dame's actually a good girl.
Right. So it's a reference within this other movie. Sure.
Yeah. This movie, and like I want to hear Mackenzie's take on this too, because this passed way over my head. Like watching it the first time, and I don't know why, because I've seen Casablanca so many times. There's the thing where they ask, why'd you stick your neck out? And like during that scene with when we first get introduced to the backstory of Bogey and the backstory of Edward G. Robinson, basically, and he says, why'd you stick your neck out? And he goes, oh, no good reason. And that's totally a play on Casablanca, where it's like, I stick my neck out for nobody. Like
well, that similar principle of just not being the virtuous hero, but being somewhat self-interested, and then you get to see like what that journey looks like, right? Same as Casablanca, not same, similar-ish vibe. Mackenzie, how about you? What's your first Key Largo interaction?
Yeah, I mean, firstly, I do agree with. I was actually thinking that today on this rewatch. I was like, oh yeah, because he plays a lot of characters like Rick. Like he's around for a long time, and then Casablanca catapults him to a level of stardom that's catastrophic, like that, not catastrophic, but like to the stars. And then he like to have Knott's a similar kind of thing where he's like, I'm not going to do anything. And then his heart and his morality gets the better of him and he helps anyway. So I feel like he plays a lot of gruff, romantic guys who pretend like they don't care, but secretly they do care. And
I mean, Maltese Falcon, right? Like, Maltese Falcon is such a good example of that too, where the whole movie you're like, oh, this guy's a scumbag. He's going to respond. Like, and I've seen like I had to be really young when I saw Maltese Falcon, but like still in my head, like every time I watch it, I'm like, oh, this guy's a scumbag. Maybe it'll be different this time. Maybe he'll have gone. And then at the end, he gives that like impassioned, like maybe I love you, maybe you love me. It doesn't really matter because I'm gonna basically throw you under the jail essentially. And it's like it's such a flip where it's like, oh yeah, like he's been just trying to figure this out the whole time so he can bring everybody down, like do his job because his partner got.
Yeah. The first time I saw Key Largo, I made sure to pull it up. It was 2 years ago. So I had been watching through a lot of Bogart's films, and then Noir City came to Chicago, and they had Key Largo, and I had never seen a Bogart film on the big screen, and I freaked out, and I told my wife, I was like, we're going to this, like, this is it. I had never seen it before, and it was my first time to see a Bogart film on the big screen. And I honestly I think that was a huge reason why I think it's an incredible film, but also seeing it in a movie theater was amazing. It was packed. 800 people all there, introduced by Eddie Mueller, who runs Noir City, does TCM. He told us kind of the story about Claire Trevor, and like he gave us a lot of fun. He did his own like TCM intro live, and it was just amazing. Like a group of 800 people just totally locked in and totally enjoying the movie. Before the movie began, Eddie Mueller was like, "Who's the youngest person in this audience?" And there was an 11-year-old boy there, and it was kind of cool. There's kids, there's people who like love this movie growing up. There's me who had never seen it before. Like it was so cool. And today I was thinking about it. I'm sure we'll get into some of the details of the plot, but like the Claire Trevor when she passes the gun off, I remember literally the eruption of applause that happened. Like everyone was so on her side. But when she does that, it was literally the bar crowd cheering gif in the Music Box Theater. It was like everybody was like, and it's like that's such an exhilarating, electric moment that like 800 people could be that excited about a film from 1948. Like that's what I think the power of Key Largo is that, and I love plays, so I love like boilerplate single setting things. So it was pretty much love at first sight for me with Key Largo, and I would love to see it again in the theater. But even watching it today, it just plays really well. I was like, wow, it makes me feel as good as on the big screen as I am watching it on DVD today. So
well, I'm sure like seeing it in the big screen, every bead of sweat probably looks like a basketball size. You know?
And it was on film too, so it was projected and it was absolutely beautiful. And oh my god, I love
cool.
North City.
It's cool that you it's cool you went to see showings at North City because I took this film noir class in college. Like I got to just sit in the thing after all my other classes and just watch a film noir movie every week, and then we'd write like essays about it. And we used Dark City, the Eddie Mueller book, as our textbook for that. So I still have it in my room somewhere, mixed in with all the other books. And the whole thing is just these glossy, like beautiful pictures of every like conceivable noir movie.
That's interesting you say that because you're just struck a memory with me that there was a bunch of, before I was just kind of getting into movies, I remember getting a book from the library that had like lots of like stills of like different movies and stuff, and like looking at all the noir films, like, whoa, that looks great. And of course, you got to understand, this is like the dawn of the home video era. It wasn't like as easy to just like pop on the computer and then it comes right up. So like some movies I didn't get to see until like way later, but I saw the stills and be like, oh, that looks cool. What is that? Like I didn't see a Double Indemnity for like years. I saw. Actually, it took a while for me to see Casablanca, and like I saw it referenced 1,000 times before I actually saw it. I was like, this is so different than I thought it was going to be. Compliment. But
Casablanca was like the first movie that made me realize I could love old Hollywood. I think that's why I'm so attached to Bogart, because I always say I watch it on my laptop, which feels like a crime. And I just remember I was like watching Casablanca on my laptop.
Better than a cracked iPhone like Ravana did for 2001: A Space Odyssey.
But by the end of it, I was like crying, and I was like, I didn't realize I could be moved this way by a movie, and that kind of began the love of like Bogart and old Hollywood, and like, Casablanca's the greatest movie. I have a poster of it on this wall, so you can't see it, but I do have Ingrid Bergman looking down on me to my left.
I feel like I've
worst folks out looking down on you.
I have Norma Desmond behind me. So.
Hell yeah, that's
more than
be
really
next month.
Old Hollywood film. I feel like I've seen like Casablanca is like I can watch it. Casablanca is one of those comfort movies where I could just sit there and just watch it pretty much anytime, anywhere. We talked about Mildred Pierce last week, and same director for Casablanca and for Mildred Pierce.
That's right, Curtiz. Yeah,
Michael Curtiz. There's a quote about him called "He's the greatest director you've never heard of," and I agree with that. He's directed some of the greatest films ever made, and no one talks about him in the way they talk about John Huston or any of the other big ones. Also, again, my cat keeps hopping up, so if you see me doing that,
all right. So going through the plot, if you guys want to.
Yeah, I was just real quick. I was going to make a note that McKenzie said about it being kind of stagey, right? Like if you're into
I like stagey
plays, anything that, and I feel like anything that really showcases acting usually gets hit with the play-like aspect of it. Oftentimes because it's adapted from plays, but I think it's very true here, but not as a detriment. And again, that's the key to doing a single location movie, or more, not quite a single location movie, but it's more or less a single location.
I need someone to make this letterbox list. Movies rewritten by somebody who hates the play.
That's you should make that list. That sounds awesome.
Yeah. but I mean, this is like a top, like John Huston fucking hated this play because in the play is a lot different than the movie. Number one,
that's better.
Frank McCloud, or what I guess he's King McCloud.
He just fixed it.
But he also gets in front of the gun and gets himself shot at the end.
He dies, yeah.
It's one thing, but another part of it is that he's not a coward, and I think this is a really good. Like the play was about how it was stupid of him to go to the Spanish Civil War, essentially, And he's like, he's a coward that he let everybody else die in the Spanish Civil War. And it's like, look at these fucking leftists, dying for nothing in the Spanish Civil War. And so obviously that was something that John Huston hated, like absolutely hated. And it was actually the producer Jerry Wald, who's also the producer of Mildred Pierce, who said, no, John Huston, we got to do this. But so Army veteran Frank McCloud arrives at the Hotel Largo in Key Largo. Could have come up with a better name than the Hotel Largo, by the way. I don't know.
Should have named it Kokomo.
Florida, visiting the family of George Temple, a friend who served under him and was killed in the Italian campaign several years earlier. He meets with the friend's widow, Nora Temple, and Father James, who owns the hotel. Because the winter vacation season has ended and a hurricane is approaching, the hotel only has 6 guests. Dapper Edward Toots Bass, Forrest, Richard Curly Hoff. Seems like a fucking Three Stooges character, by the way. Stone-faced Ralph Feeney, servant Angel Garcia, attractive but aging alcoholic Gay Dawn, and a 6th man who remains secluded in his room. The visitors claim to be in the Florida Keys for fishing. Anything there to start?
Key Largo. Yeah, it's a good setup.
I don't fish. My dad.
That's right. Yeah. Attractive but aging. I mean, geez, that's rude. But okay. I mean, agreed.
Yeah.
But
What the hell?
I've been using the IMDb ones, but the IMDb.
What is she? 31. Anyway, moving on.
The IMDb one
hit the wall.
Short, so I'm using the Wikipedia one, and there seems to be a little bit of
yeah, it's a good setup. You got to know a little of the characters, right? You get some kind of witty repartee back and forth early on. Some cracking wise, if you will, and it is amazing. And I don't know if it's talked about that much because I certainly have heard it. That how long it goes on before we actually even see Edward G. Robinson's character?
Yeah,
it's about half an hour.
He's sick.
Yeah, like 27 minutes or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the thing is, I think part of why I think this movie's effective for a lot of reasons, but I think that the ensemble really pops, like the ensemble of dudes. For me, my favorite is Thomas Gomez, who plays Curly. Like, I think Curly's really funny. Like, Curly's my favorite out of like the guys because he's kind of sardonic and hates is it Toots that he doesn't like, who's like always reading magazines and stuff, and like he's kind of annoyed at him. Like, I think that the ensemble all pops in a really fun way, and like because Eddie G's upstairs taking a bath, we get time to sort of meet them and see their personalities, and I find the ensemble to be really fun, but Curly like steals the show for me.
When he's like reading off the jokes, is well, why is it funny? Tell me. He's like, oh man, don't tell him, don't do it. And he's just like, well, you see, it's blah blah blah. And it's like, oh my god, stop.
But that must be a thing with him. Because later on they have the whole dynamic where Johnny Rocco is like, well, now he finally laughs at something that's funny, and it's like
you're gonna get stuck in that voice just like Austin Butler did for Elvis.
Yeah. By the way, I don't know if they picked it on purpose, but the kid that plays Toots, I'm trying to find the name of. He's not even listed on like the beginning starring people. So the guy that plays Toots looks a lot like James Cagney to me. Like a
little bit. Yeah, I can see it.
You dirty rat! You killed my brother.
And then
he's just a good.
You killed my brother.
Yeah, he's got a good resting gangster face. From this era.
He also does the thing where his eyes almost go in different directions when he's laughing, so he looks like a maniac.
Yeah, he's smacking his gum.
Yeah, exactly.
Frank tells Nora and James about George's heroism under fire and shares some small and cherished details that George had spoken of. Nora and her father-in-law seem taken with Frank, stating George frequently mentioned Frank in his letters. I like the detail that the whole story about him being on the phone while the fire's coming or whatever, and he's talking on the phone to stay up all night. And later on, it's like, no, in George's letter, he said actually that was Frank McCloud that was the one on the phone.
Yeah, okay. I'm glad you said that because I on this watch was sitting there being like, so are all the heroic stories he's saying about George actually about him, but he just wants the family to like think he's big heroic.
Yeah.
I didn't get that until she kind of tries to call him on his shit like very subtly outside of the dad, and I didn't get that the first watch. I don't think so. I was like, oh, is he just trying to help the memory of this guy, or help them, by making him more of a hero than maybe he actually was.
Yeah, he's big up in his boy, and they can tell that because when he's like he's the bravest, the whole squad couldn't have done without him, and you can tell the father is like he wants to believe it, but he's by the way, the father Lionel Barrymore, Drew Barrymore's grandfather.
Oh really? Oh,
interesting. Yeah, she's a part of the dynasty.
Don Barrymore is her grandfather. That's her great uncle.
Oh, her great.
Last night went down a rabbit hole of Wikipedia of just looking at all of the Bogart and Bacall children and that entire family line and just being like, oh my god, like I was like one of the grandkids is on Instagram, and then I was like, I gotta do something else. This is weird. I was just curious, you know.
If you want to cry, oh my god, I was listening to her audiobook and listening to her describe like the final years of his life. I was just sobbing in my car listening to Lauren Bacall's audiobook. But yeah, and then she gets into her tumultuous marriage with oh my god, Robards. Jason
she has a kid.
That's right. Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. By the way, Kristina, you're right. It's John Barrymore is the grandfather, and then
because John Drew is her dad.
Yeah, and then her name's Drew. The two family names are like John and Drew, and they like intersect, and then they're like, well,
it just doesn't matter if you're a boy or a girl. Doesn't matter.
That's it.
Those are your two choices, kid.
So while preparing the hotel for the hurricane, the three are interrupted by Sheriff Ben Wade and his deputy Claude Sawyer. They're searching for John and Tom Osceola, a pair of fugitive American Indian brothers. Soon after the police leave, the local Seminoles seek shelter at the hotel. Among them, the Osceola boys,
who are characterized as being well dressed. Which is like,
yeah.
Okay. Is that just low-key racist? Or I mean, they kind of are. Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, I wish they had more to do, but I do like that. It seems like they're like the correct opinion is to not be racist and weird to these guys. Like I like that the movie at least is like the good guys are chill with the Native Americans.
Yeah,
there's no like stagecoach-esqueness to this. We're like, ooh.
But it's also
it's different than African Queen, by the way.
I've heard. No, I was also that lady, the old lady, that ancient woman who I love, asks for a cigarette.
Yeah, you got the cigarette.
According, if the IMDb dates for her birthday are correct, she was 78 when this was filmed. I also thought she was like 100, and I'm like, she, no offense, doesn't look great for 78, but I was surprised. I mean, that's assuming IMDb is correct, but I was surprised to find out she was 78 because she does look approximately 200 years old.
She does.
She looks like Grandmother Willow.
So she was like,
it feels like it feels like improv, like the way that Bacall and Bogey like react to her asking for a cigarette. It almost feels like they just kind of were like put this woman in between them and were like, just say some shit to them because they both seem kind of surprised. And he's like, yeah. I love her lighten up. It's great.
This is definitely, well, it's in that era of just peak cigarette smoking where it's like, all right,
of course.
everyone's smoking, everyone looks badass on the the silver screen.
And right before everyone started dying of like lung cancer en masse in this era of Hollywood.
Bogart,
including Bogart, and drinking, and they have him drinking in every movie.
Is it a noir if someone's not smoking?
This one, he's like, no, thank you, I'm good. I'll only have a beer, and I'm like, I'm proud of you, Bogey, for that one at least. So as the storm approaches, Curly, Ralph, Angel, and Toots. Toots is such a funny gangster name. Pull guns.
Different time.
And Frank hostage. They explain that the sixth reclusive member of their party is the notorious gangster Johnny Rocco, who was exiled to Cuba some years before. Rocco was waiting for his Miami contacts to arrive to conclude a deal. The gang discovers Deputy Sawyer looking about, and they capture him. A tense standoff ensues. I don't know if that's. This is a terrible. Is it
a tense standoff? I don't know. It's a standoff, I guess.
Yeah. The gang discovers.
Stands up. It's tense.
Yeah.
There is a stand up. Yeah, you're right about that. Maybe that's what they meant.
Stick up.
Tense stand up.
I'm not the stand dad. I'm the dad that stand up. Frank declines to fight a duel with Rocco. He's smart for that, stating his belief in self-preservation over heroics, and that one Rocco more or less isn't worth dying for. Rocco shoots Sawyer, and Rocco's men take Sawyer's body out in a rowing boat in the approaching storm to bury it at sea. Imagine that being your job. Like, it's just like, oh, the boss killed someone again. Now we have to go in a hurricane to dump him at sea. And then the body comes back. The body gets washed right back again.
Turns out that didn't work out so great, did it? I mean, like, I feel like, and I have not seen the play, so I don't know if that like kind of that interaction looms larger in the play or not. But I think it looms exactly the right amount here, and we also get the like, all right, it's is the gun loaded or not kind of aspect of it as well. I think that's notable.
What's the password?
Well, that's part of the bomb in the room of it all, right?
One thing is that my understanding is that the play is a lot more racially problematic, and they are not a gang of mixed white ethnics that are around a room. It's a gang of Mexican banditti, essentially, that have taken over the hotel. So it's a little more,
okay.
Which plays into the whole, I think, Spanish Civil War-ness of it too, because it's there's these motherfuckers. They speak Spanish. You just kill another guy that speaks Spanish, and then and then get killed by him and redeem
so
yourself.
good changes by John Huston, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Our real progressive ally.
I do love the whole upstairs. Like, I love that there's 20 minutes upstairs of just intense interactions before we move downstairs.
It's all the best scenes.
And I love the way the camera I feel like even though it's a ton of people in a tiny room, it still feels visually dynamic, and the camera's moving around and there's lots of fun stuff. And I also find when Barrymore, I know we kind of joked when he stands up. I mean, he was actually mostly immobile and wheelchair ridden, and so I think that's a bold thing as an actor, that he's actually physically trying to do this because it feels so real, because it is. He was so overcome with arthritis and illness that he really was in a wheelchair. And so I think it's really powerful, because also to juxtapose him against Frank, who like the dad, it's he has all the bravery, but he doesn't have the body that can sustain that bravery. And Frank McCloud is able-bodied, and yet he stands down like a coward, and it's about him almost having to absorb some of that heroicism. But whenever Barrymore stands, it's so intense, because I see the actor struggling against his own body in a way that is really powerful, I think.
The story of it too, it was only, I think it was, I want to say 1937. I was looking at the thing, and a table fell on him, a table fell on him while he was acting on a movie set. And broke his back, essentially. And then he was able to walk again. But number one, as McKenzie said, the arthritis. Number two, he injured it a second time, and he was just completely immobile after that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm always fascinated by the Barrymore family.
There's a lot of good micro expressions in here, which is not something I could articulate when I was a kid and I first watched this. But now there's a whole freaking novella of them, with him, and just as you just said, where this is a moral stance and a physical stance, and it's something where the level of effort for that, I think, because it's so claustrophobic, which is an overused term, but let's get real. Key Largo's claustrophobic as hell. It hits harder, and I think you can see the pathos a little more than maybe you would be able to if it was kind of played bigger in general. So you get these great moments that it means a lot. And it's the same thing we talked about with 12 Angry Men, right? It was the kind of thing where it's it's dudes at a table. Why is this so interesting?
Why do we watch this in my peer mediation class? I don't get it.
I feel like that skill has been lost, not because that there aren't a lot of good shots of faces, but I feel like now people feel like the story has to be like told to you rather than shown a lot more. Right, so it's a lot harder to I just think
vertical dramas.
Well, it's just also the way that people are kind of socialized. I feel like audiences need more from the story than back then, because of silent film for the longest time, right? I think there was a lot more faith that audiences could just see a face and understand what was going on, or just see the changes in the expressions and understand what was going on.
That's why acting is a lot. There's so many YouTube videos why is acting so much different now? Why do people sound different than they did 60, 70 years ago? Blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, stuff evolves.
So as the storm rages outside, Rocco forces his former mall. I don't know what that a gun mall, I guess. Gay.
Take a shot every time.
That's girlfriend, mob guy's girlfriend.
Mob girlfriend. Yeah.
You're all gonna be drunk by the end of this episode.
Exactly. You're not gonna make it to the letterbox one-liners.
In contrast, Frank politely gives her the promised drink and then ignores Rocco's slaps. Yeah, he just stands there and takes it, which if you can imagine that if it was
real men take it.
Curly or Angel slapping him, he would. It's just the part of the terrifyingness of the performance, I think, is how tiny Edward G. Robinson is.
Yeah. He's got big Al Capone kind of energy, right? Where this guy's a real psychopath and
or I mean, I don't think this is an actual truth. Napoleon almost the way that we as an audience perceive a small guy with a lot of power. Nora understands that Frank's heroism matches her husband. I would say excels past her husband, who was killed around Monte Cassino in Italy. Mr. Temple invites Frank to live with them at the hotel, a prospect that intrigues Nora. The whole sequence not a very good. I wish
intriguing.
wish the IMDb ones are usually better than the Wikipedia ones, but there just doesn't seem to be.
Well, I mean, it's you get what you pay for, right?
Yeah.
She has her like chin on his knee, and the way he looks down at her, I'm like, oh my god, they're so in love.
Yeah.
But like it's like at the same time, there's never any overt like romance. I mean, maybe at the end, like there isn't like real overt.
Yeah. It's funny because it's like this is my favorite film of theirs, but like it's not the best one of them together. If that makes sense. Like I love Key Largo out of the four they've done, but like To Have and Have Not is where like the spice is. Like if you want to see them like effing each other and like that's the movie you want to go see.
Which is funny because they weren't. I mean, like for the first, at least beginning of that, them filming that, they were not fucking. No. And then later on in the filming of it, it kind of naturally came together, and then they were together to the end of Bogey's life. And like, I was watching a documentary from like 1996 or something on Bogey's life when his son released that book about growing up with Lauren Bacall and Humphrey Bogart as his parents. And I was watching and they kind of talked about how their relationship almost mirrored their movies because they did these 4 movies, and by the time of Key Largo, like they were just like a couple, like it was like that spark and that like real like thing between them because they had to keep it secret for so long. Like there was that real like romantic tension that was really just oozing through everything. Difference. And well, to have not, that's like her first movie. Like she's
Howard Hawks plucked her. If you're like her biography is really great, and like I love hearing her read it with her smoky, like older grand dame voice.
Yeah. Sometimes I forget she played Barbara Streisand's mom in a movie.
Oh, I am such a defender of The Mirror Has Two Faces. It is insane. If you ever do The Mirror Has Two Faces, I'm a big defender of that movie that everyone kind of hates.
I've never given it serious consideration to covering it personally, but it's an interesting movie. I mean, it's
no one should probably, but I'm obsessed with it. I have it on DVD behind me, but no, like her biography is a really great insight into like how Howard Hawks found her, how her perception of like her and Bogey's relationship, and then I didn't realize they hid it for so long because he was still like dating his like really abusive alcoholic wife, and it's interesting like listening to her detail how like hard that was because she like wanted to save him from this, but he felt this pull to like be a good husband even though he wasn't in love with it. Like it's drama. We don't get drama like that anymore, at least not in a book that we can read.
That's I think I was reading about this earlier. Like I was reading about she had this like connection as did Bogart, but she really got this connection with Katharine Hepburn later on.
Yes.
They were all in Africa. They were all in Africa together. Not really interacting with any Africans, but
well, it kind of reminds me of
I was going to say Katharine Hepburn had that pretty much for his life, not for her whole life because she lived a lot longer. Spencer Tracy, who was like a falling down, just incapacitated alcoholic, and he wouldn't like leave his wife at first, and they had to keep that a secret, and she would have to run off. So I think Lauren Bacall really connected to her over that, right? Because she had to keep her relationship with Bogey a secret for that long because of that same. I mean, a different kind of opposite dynamic, but still like.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of, believe it or not, Joan Crawford and Clark Gable. When they were doing their films together, they had an affair, but he would not leave his much older Catholic wife. Like she was like 20 years the senior. This was before Carol Lombard.
At some point, right? Like I don't know, like you have to put it together. That person, if he tries to leave, that person, like they're gonna go to the press. You know what I mean? Like so, there's like a much older Catholic person. They're gonna be like living in sin, living in Clark Gable is living in, and then you have to deal with that for the rest of your time. And you're gonna get blamed for running somebody over when it was really Johnny Huston.
Wow. I mean, hey.
Oh my God.
Changing the subject immediately, we got a super chat. Back when South Florida was both trashy and classy. There we go.
That was just trashy.
Yeah.
Well, actually, all of Florida's trashy now.
Now you'd have to make this, and everyone would be Marguerite, like Jimmy Buffett fans. They'd be on the hotel.
I've been to what's it? RJ Gators is what it's called or whatever. I don't know.
What is it? Did you just make that up? No way, that's real.
No, I think it's
real. No, he has his own restaurant.
Wow.
Jimmy Buffett. Okay. So all of his employees were.
There's all kinds of accidental Jimmy Buffett facts tonight.
Yeah. Jimmy Buffett.
I've been to Margaritaville multiple times, but just the one in New York City with our friend Kev, with our mutual friend Kev.
Friend of the show. Yeah.
We've
always go to Daytona
Beach.
Always go to Daytona Beach on Biker Week, which is literally just spring, the first week of April. It's fine.
It does not surprise me that Kev is somebody that would ironically go to Margaritaville.
It's because every year I went for a work trip, they would put me in Times Square, and I'm like, well, we're obviously gonna go to Margaritaville.
Clearly, duh. Hello.
Speaking of Florida, I know that my other friend Brandon has recommended to me a book about Florida noir, but I love that Florida noir can be its own subgenre. It's mostly like neo noirs, but I was watching Wild Things, which is an absolutely unhinged film. And my friend Brandon,
I love Wild Things.
Brandon was like, "This is Florida noir," and I was like, "Yeah. It kind of is." Like, so Florida noir, I love it. It's a great subgenre.
Twist and turn.
I mean,
it's
not. It's obviously not necessarily noir, but like Scarface too, right? Like that's another of these kind of.
Was that in Florida?
It's Miami. The whole thing is.
Welcome to Miami.
Miami.
Oh yeah. You're talking
Heat,
about the Pacino one. Body Heat's what I was. I didn't want to interrupt, but that's what I was thinking of. Yeah.
But no, the Pacino Scarface, not the original.
Yeah. Michael Mann, the whole Michael Mann of it all, right? Miami Vice, ultimately.
Yes.
Yeah.
I can't believe they're remaking Miami Vice. That's gonna be pretty interesting.
You can't believe that? I can believe it. I don't like it.
Are they wear the same outfits?
But before we immediately Angel Heart too. We talk about it. We've talked about it every year for Nora Month, and we never get around to covering it. Angel Heart's very much unhinged, but absolutely a Florida noir as well. Although I think it's actually it might be New Orleans, but it's that sweaty, swampy noir. So not Florida specific, but
Robert De Niro and Lisa Bonet.
Dude, it is nuts. It is a nuts movie for like real sickos like me. It's great.
Charlotte Rampling, what the hell is this cast?
It's crazy. I've had it on the 2 cover list for like years, and we can never seem to fit it in. But like it's bonkers. I'm surprised it hasn't ended up on the wheel for Austin Powers, frankly.
You do it 4 times. Just Angel Heart.
I would do an Austin Powers cosplay if we do Austin Powers. I'm just saying.
Well, we talked about doing it.
We talked about it. We still have to do it one day.
Yeah.
We wanted to do
Talk
Austin
about a lot
Powers.
of things.
There are 3 films I remember seeing.
Have
very
Kevin
young.
on and have them come on for the Austin.
Yeah, we only have them on separately.
Our power together would be great.
We just had Kev on like a month ago.
Yeah, and he's coming on for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. He's coming at the end of the year too. So, yeah, that's right. Through Arnett. Yeah, but it seems like 100,000 years ago.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you guys though. Because I think part of this performance, the Edward G. Robinson, Johnny Rocco. All right, I'll try not to do it as much.
You're gonna Austin Butler out so hard. I swear, you're gonna be stuck into this.
Keep doing
I'm gonna come back from tour. You'll still be
I'm
talking like Edward G. Robinson.
Reading the synopsis like this. The parts of it where he's scared of the hurricane, where all of the goons, the real goons, right, that assumably live in pre Castro Cuba, which is where all the gangsters were living at the time. Batista's Cuba, presumably there are the same kinds of hurricanes there. But I feel like having them all be scared of the hurricane adds such a vulnerable and human thing to these terrifying characters that you don't know what the fuck they're going to do. And also, it's almost like caging them.
Right.
Yeah.
So has anyone else been to the actual Keys before? No. Florida Keys. I don't want to key-splain to anybody, but I have been.
I've been to Daytona.
Okay, very different. So and the reason why I'm bringing it up is because there is a specific thing that Cuba obviously is affected by hurricanes, as is Florida, as anything with like a coastal region. But the Keys are not big. These are not small these are not large pieces of land. So therefore, a hurricane it's a much bigger deal within the Keys that even someone from Cuba, if they're familiar with it, if you live like enough inland, you're like, oh, that's a hassle. But like, it's not something that's going to like, oh no, this entire place is going to be lifted away.
Yeah.
So in that way, and I understand, and believe me, there's plenty of Letterboxd reviewers that really focus in on that. Like, well, this guy's never heard of a hurricane before, but it's like, no, it hits differently.
Florida should not have been inhabitable.
Oh no,
Based on Al Capone, they're probably New York guys, probably Brooklyn guys who then maybe were in Chicago for a bit and then were I feel like they probably spent most of their time in the North and Midwest, so it's probably unique to them. But.
Well, and maybe they don't have like a lifetime of experience with it too, and anyway, not to like. Again, key-splain this, but the Keys are its own thing that is unique even to Florida, which is saying a lot.
The closest I really gotten that I remember, at least, because I went to Florida all the time when I was a kid.
I thought you were going to say key lime pie, which is delicious.
No, the closest I've ever gotten is eating a nice key lime pie.
Key lime pie.
It's like Fort Myers, which is like, it's
it's very close. It's very
far
close, yeah.
down. Yeah, that was the first. I don't know why this was, but I remember this distinctly because literally it was the same time that Jeb Bush was dropping out of the 2015. So
Jeb,
all that stuff was gone. So the first vacation I ever took by myself was to Fort Myers in Florida to go hang out with a girl who had moved there with her family.
Shout out to Palmetto with Woody Harrelson. Why are we shouting it out? I mean, yeah, sure.
I think I was talking about is it a Florida Noir?
Oh, Florida Noir. Okay, got it. Okay, yeah, cool. Since we kind of
Woody Harrelson's a very Florida character, I feel like too, but he's also a very California character.
Yeah.
But
I
could see him coming out of the Everglades and like,
right.
Yeah.
Well, that's one of the reasons why True Detective season 1 kind of works so well too. There's like a swampiness to him. Like it's believable, even much like John Fogerty came from the bayous of El Cerrito, California, a suburb of Berkeley. But it worked. Like you believe it. Mackenzie, do you want to tell your Austin Butler story since we're
it's so not relevant to the movie in any capacity.
I mean, we're talking about key lime pie, friend. You can talk about whatever you want.
No, I am a fan of Austin Butler. I'm a defender of the Elvis movie, and I like him a lot as an actor. And I call him my boyfriend a lot. Even though I say to my wife, I'm like, I may be a lesbian, but that's my boyfriend. And so I was jokingly telling my in-laws about this, and they were like, interesting. Like I don't think they fully understood the concept of that. But we were later going to the Breitling watch store because my father-in-law was like, "Oh, let's go look at just like expensive watches we're never gonna buy." And I was like, "Okay." And we walk in, and Austin Butler is plastered all around the room because I guess he's the poster boy for this watch place. And this man goes into hard sell mode with my father-in-law. And my father-in-law kind of jokingly is like, "Mackenzie, it's your boyfriend," on the wall. And I was like, "Oh my God, okay." And so then the guy at the watch store like gloms onto that. And every couple seconds he's like, "Oh yes, the one that your daughter's boy is wearing." Like he kept like, he has like an Italian accent. That's not a really good Italian accent. But he kept like referencing him and like calling me like, "Daughter, your boy." And I was like, "Yeah." He gets to call me daughter. And I just was so mortified the entire time. And this watch was
he's inserted himself so that now he's your father and Austin Butler's your boyfriend.
Yeah, Austin Butler's my boyfriend. And so this watch was $8,000. My father-in-law was like, "We need to get out of here." And so as we're leaving, the man yells at the door, "Daughter, if you get your father to buy the watch, I'll throw in the poster for free." Like pointing to this like that 6 foot tall Austin Butler poster.
That's
and my father-in-law was like,
that's the part that was going to sell it to you for you.
Yeah,
right?
That's it. Yeah, we made the sale.
You're like, I have $8,000 to blow. I'm just not sure just the watch.
I have Austin Butler at home though.
There's a $10 poster he's throwing in, and it's mounted, so that's another $1.50.
We have Austin Butler at home.
I love of Austin Butler. My wife makes fun of me frequently for it. I went to go see Cut Feeling for that man. I'm like, I'll go see him.
Did you ever see?
We have Austin Butler at home, and it's Jacob Elordi.
Did you ever see Dune 2? Mackenzie, did you ever watch that?
No.
He's good in it.
I know.
He's good.
I'm
it's
the
good.
last
It's
person
better than the
on
first
Earth
one.
hasn't seen Dune 2. So
that's fine. I mean, we did a great
what?
episode with Becky Rice, I think, if I remember right. Oh yeah, because that's where I came up with Little Fremen. Little Women.
Yeah,
Little Fremen. Little Fremen.
My Little Fremen.
When we did the whole bit where it was Austin Butler in Dune 2, but he was still stuck in Elvis.
He's stuck in the Elvis mode. I remember this very well.
So he's like, "My blade,
May the blade chip shadow, bro."
And then I was thinking, I made that thing where it was like, it was Austin Butler in Dune 2 going, "Don't step on my blue suede shoes."
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Anyway,
nothing to do with Key Largo.
Having absolutely nothing to do with Key Largo. Yeah.
But my other boyfriend is Humphrey Bogart. My wife calls him my dead boyfriend. She's like, "Your living boyfriend's Austin Butler, and your dead boyfriend's Humphrey Bogart." And I'm like,
I got a lot of boyfriends and girlfriends.
Are any of them Austin Butler though?
Are they in the room with us now?
Mackenzie.
Look, I have a private Pinterest board of women I find beautiful.
They're on the backstage.
It sounds Kristina's thing sounds more like she's starting a cult. She's starting her own town. She's
yeah,
they're all my girlfriends and boyfriends. Yeah.
Austin Butler without hair
we all
eyebrows
float down
doesn't
here.
What I was talking about though, it wasn't what wasn't the idea that that I found it interesting that they didn't know what a hurricane was. Like I don't think if I was in the middle of a hurricane, I'd be scared for like the same. I mean, I've been to like Puerto Rico a bunch of times, and I've been there when they're like, oh, there's gonna be a hurricane.
Well,
and
when they made the Wizard of Oz, they had no reference to what a tornado looked like. I'm stupid.
we've never even been to Kansas. See, we have no idea. No, so my thing wasn't that. It's just the vulnerability of nature, right? Like it's the vulnerability of man versus nature in such a stark way, where it's men that have conquered other. No homo, but men who have conquered other men. So it is like men who have conquered, that feel like they rule over other men, right? Like in this very like fascist, authoritarian, gangster way that they're referencing throughout the entire thing. But it's still that nature can scare them coming from the outside. Because nature is virtually unconquerable.
Well, you have these people that are the aggressors. The Rocco character is like clearly the antagonist here. Everyone's in danger because of this guy, and this guy's freaked out because of the hurricane, right? So there's something greater than the evil that's in the room, and so the bomb in the room is actually the bomb outside the room in this situation. Which is to say the hurricane.
And I think the sound design is really effectively used. I heard it more like in the theater, but like the way the wind is kind of always present, even when it's like calm, but then it starts to ramp up more, like the lighting with the lightning and the sound design. Like I feel like because it famously was shot pretty much on a back lot. Even the scenes where they're on the boat were filmed like in a pool with a bunch of fog to cover it up,
which is crazy.
So foggy in Florida. But like,
where's this fog
all
come
that
from?
would be CGI today, which is so like I love.
So they're on a boat in a pool and they're just kind of, but like it was
doing it Titanic style. They're doing it Titanic style. That's what James Cameron did.
They've lost it now, but like, they got really amazing with dry ice for a long time to create that fog. Like, they did such a good,
the sound design and the lighting design and all that, I think, makes the hurricane feel very immersive and real. Like, I think it plays really well.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and it like, again, that's part of it's easy to mentally redact those scenes too, because you just think, when I think of this movie, I think about just the interactions between the actors, right? And like crazy, tension. Again, that not even their greatest romantic movie, as you mentioned, but like just between Bogey and Lauren Bacall. I mean, it's great. It's like instantly you don't need anyone to tell you, oh, they like each other. It's like, no, it's freaking dogs know it. It's readily apparent. Come on. I mean,
apparently, there's this place called the Caribbean Club that claims to be the outdoor, like, because they did go to Key Largo and they went to Key West. Do the exterior
they say that's where it's filmed at.
There's a place called Caribbean Club that claims to be the place that they filmed those exterior shots, but I think people have doubted the veracity of those claims.
Yeah, that's
we're Key Largo. So as the storm rages outside, Rocco forces. Well, I already read this part, but I'll read it again. Rocco forces his former Moll to sing for them and then demeans her. In contrast, Frank politely gives her the promised drink and ignores Rocco's slaps. Nora understands that Frank's heroism matches her husband. It's more than her husband's though. He's the heroic one, and the husband's the one that's on the radio and the thing. He's the alpha dog in this unit. Yeah. So Mr. Temple invites Frank to let them to live with them at the hotel, a prospect that intrigues Nora. The storm finally subsides. Sheriff Wade returns looking for Deputy Sawyer and discovers his body washed up by the storm on the hotel driveway. They should have gone farther. I thought that in the moment too. It's like they should have.
If we're gonna dump a body, take it further out. Yeah.
Rocco goes outside and convinces Sheriff Wade the Osceola boys are responsible for Sawyer's death. Wade confronts and kills them. Kills them both before leaving with Sawyer's body. Rocco's contact Ziggy arrives to buy a large amount of counterfeit money. It's pretty funny that's what they're trying to sell. It's not like, I mean, it's too early for drugs, right? Like the drug connections really come to like the 1950s, really. Like, so they're like, oh, you guys want to buy some fake money? It looks real. It looks real.
Money, see? Yeah.
Rocco then forces Frank, who is a skilled seaman, to take him and his house
seaman
back to Cuba on the small hotel boat. As the gang prepares to board the boat, Gay steals Rocco's gun and covertly passes it to Frank. I do think that she deserved that supporting actress Oscar.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Sure. No, it's an incredible performance. Yeah.
That song. Oh, McKenzie, you were going to talk about the song and the story behind it.
Oh yeah.
Thanks, Steve. I got Caribbean Queen stuck in my head now.
Where Billy Ocean performs Caribbean
My
Queen.
dad loved dancing to that song.
And also No Dry Ice, No Edgar Ulmer. By the way, just finally watched Detour this last year. Loved it.
Detour,
great movie.
right.
Another great noir that I'm like immediately went on the list.
Boom.
Yeah.
Perfect. That was.
Is Detour the one where he goes into the thing and he says, I got, like, he goes to the police station and he tells them he got murdered. They have to, like, solve the murder backwards, essentially. Is that?
No, he's like a hitchhiker, and he's like
a
just
diner.
He's like the dumbest dude in the
woman.
world. Keeps getting into trouble. Yeah,
Oh,
and it was actually one of the influences for the Villain of Circumstance video, because I was like enthralled by, especially visually. Some of the visuals are like holy moly, like and very low budge, but like it's held up very well, I feel. Anyway, that's Edgar Ulmer. That is not the movie that we're talking about. Mackenzie, go ahead, please.
Yeah, that was the thing what Eddie Mueller said when he introduced the film when I saw it in theaters, was he basically talked about two things which are both relevant to this section, where he talked about Claire Trevor's Oscar win and how John Huston was known to not be the greatest director towards women in particular, and he did not necessarily treat Claire Trevor with a lot of respect, and she was really stressed. She did not consider herself a singer, and she did not come from a singing background, and she was really nervous about this, and he refused to let her rehearse it, and he basically just was like, okay, you're doing it now. And like, I think that's where a lot of the nerves and anxiety
like Johnny Rocco.
Yeah, I mean, basically. And so I think that comes through in
acting.
her performance, and it really is like, it's right at the midway point of the movie. I feel like it just takes your breath away and you're just so nervous for her. I think that Claire Trevor, so like this idea that like Huston didn't let her rehearse because he wanted the nerves and the anxiety to kind of come through, that he knew she would feel. So he was like, what if I psychologically torture this woman to get this out of her? But it's really good. And I think that like, it's a character that could easily be very one-dimensional. And I feel like Claire Trevor infuses her with a ton of sympathy, like the way she like immediately checks in on Lauren Bacall when she like comes in and sees that something's wrong, and she's like, honey, what's going on? Like, she's a girl's girl. I love that for her. She's a girl's girl and she loves to drink, and it is what it is. But and then like her big hero moment when she uses the like way that Rocco thinks about her to manipulate him to steal the gun, because she believes in Frank. And I think it's really like, it's such a hero moment. Again, like the whole crowd I was in just cheered for her, because we were like, we love her and we're so on her side.
Which he like the thing about it that I was thinking about, right? It's not exactly that he's wrong in the sense that she's pissed, but she's perfectly like fine to snitch on him on top of Ziggy, right? So he's like, oh, she'll be so upset that she'll snitch on this other guy, and that's my plan. And it's like, why wouldn't she snitch on you? You think you're gonna be far enough away by that point that he's not snitching on you too?
Like she may not be sober, but she is, I think, ending the movie with a new sense of self-respect, and at least knows that Rocco is not worth it.
Right. There's a journey with it. And I think it's a worthy win. And it's interesting because it's the only win for this movie. However, for the Oscars that year, also the same year of Treasure of Sierra Madre, so actor in a supporting role was Walter Huston in Treasure of Sierra Madre.
Yeah. Daddy. Your old dad.
Daddy Huston. And which is notable, too. This is also the Red Shoes year, so that actually won for cinematography, which
a movie that Barbie was inspired by.
Sorry, it was art direction. Cinematography was actually The Naked City, another incredible noir that came out that year.
Jesus,
what a year!
The 40s
right?
was like noir decade, like.
John Huston did win for director, but not for this. He won for Treasure of Sierra Madre as well. Again, came out same year.
What a pick! It's like, which one to choose?
This is the Laurence Olivier Hamlet year.
Oh,
so Hamlet, he won Best Actor.
I like this more than Sierra Madre, but that might be a hot take.
I'm not disagreeing with you, but I do think that Treasure of the Sierra Madre is such a unique movie that I could because people talk about this movie and then Maltese Falcon, like the big Bogart noir movies, but like Treasure of the Sierra Madre, I feel like it's talked about in its own category, the same as like African Queen.
Not what's weird?
It's like its own like crazy
Academy Awards, but only won 2.
What did Treasure Sierra Madre? Or
no, John Huston in general. He was
John Huston in general. Oh yeah. No, that was like a noted thing. Like he said he didn't care, but it was like
Well, also a big part of that is that he fled to Ireland for a big part of his career after he was so disgusted by like how Hollywood had treated he was the last guy that was still up in arms about like the Hollywood 10, and he moved to Ireland and was just like gotten more and more radicalized, hanging out with the Irish for the rest of his life.
I don't blame him,
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, and the other thing too, which we might talk about in the next session, is Bogey loved sailing in real life. Bogart was a big sailor, and the Santana, which is the name of the boat that they was the name of his real boat and his production company, and he loved sailing. So Bogart, there's like a whole book about Bogart's obsession with sailing, and there's so many great photos of him sailing. So he was a passionate sailor. So I love whenever there's a movie where he gets to be on a boat, because To Have and Have Not similar. He's also a sailor in that. Like whenever Bogey's a sailor in a movie, it makes me happy because I know he like genuinely loved it. And like that scene where he's like tying the boat up, I feel like he's kind of flexing on his skills there because he did love sailing. I
love how the line comes back to bite him in the ass. He's like, my first girlfriend was a boat. And then later on, that line comes to bite him so hard when the guy's like, his first girlfriend was a boat.
Yeah.
It's like, God damn it. You never tell real information about yourself in front of these kinds of people, right? Because you never know what's going to end up being used against you. But you wouldn't think that. But then it's like, his first girlfriend was a boat. He knows how to sail. Look at this guy.
Yeah.
LOL, there's a quote. If you look up Humphrey Bogart sailing, the first article that comes up is called Bogey's One True Love. And it has a quote from Nora Bacall where she said, the only cause my husband, Humphrey Bogart, ever gave me to be jealous was not of a woman, but of a boat, a racing yacht called Santana.
She knew.
Well, so I was watching the that documentary, and they said I think they said Sunday night through Thursday he was on the call whenever like Lauren Bacall needed something, he was there. But Friday and Saturday it was his boat days.
That's
and
boat
his
time.
quote for his quote for why he didn't invite women on his boat is, then I can't piss off the side.
Oh, what a gentleman!
That was his boat time.
It's his boat time, baby.
Then I can't. Then I can't even do the like. You have to put your lips really close together. And then I can't piss off the side. Like.
Because they're gonna do Rocco again. We gotta talk about Lauren Bacall in this. I mean, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Like, and this is coming off of Joan Crawford and Mildred Pierce last week too. It's like we're batting 1,000 for just absolute baddies. She's so great in this, and it's she's not given that much to do because it'd be in the 40s and all.
In the other films they did together, she has a lot more to do. That's the only downside, I think, because I wish she had more. It's a very subtle performance, really quiet performance. It's not very big.
I think it's hard because, like, obviously, she's a widow in this, and would be in real life, I guess, a decade later. But she's a widow in this, and you don't really like. It would feel unseemly, I think, if she's like. I mean, like, there's those little moments, obviously, where her head's in like. Frake's laugh and he's kind of stroking her hair, like those cuter little moments. But like, you would feel kind of unseemly, I think, if from the beginning she kind of threw herself at Bogey, and it's like he's there because your husband, who just like literally just died, is like
she is kind of immediately interested in him. That's something I do find funny. That she's like, my dead husband, who cares?
but I feel like. Well, I mean, she's gotten these letters and he's all over the letters. But no, like if she threw herself at him too much in the beginning, I feel like it would feel unseemly in a way. By that point, you're like, you almost feel like you feel like Bogey's friend because he keeps describing him, and then it's not even it's really just him like that he's describing.
So like. We kind of, before whatever, in the private chat, I talked about Lauren Bacall, being a liberal, and she has some of the best quotes about being a liberal. It's like, like she identifies. She's like, I'm a New Deal, like Roosevelt, Democrat, liberal. I'm like, why can't most Democrat politicians be like that? Like she's like, I don't like it, when people, say like make it like the L word, like it's a naughty bad word. And she's like, being a liberal is awesome. Fuck off. And I'm like, yeah, nice.
Was that an exact quote?
No, but
basically,
she's like, she's like, I'm a total Democrat. I'm anti-Republican. It's only fair that you know it.
Like Larry King saying this or something, and I love her. I mean, have you seen
the first quote? I'm a total 3 times liberal and proud of it.
Queen.
Yeah.
Nice.
Passage, I feel like, is the film they did that's the least watched.
I don't know that one.
the first 40 minutes of it is filmed in POV, but like you're Humphrey Bogart. And I'm like, everyone thinks it's weird. I jokingly call it the Elder Scrolls Humphrey Bogart because it's just like POV Humphrey Bogart. But here's the thing.
That's funny.
It's kind of schlocky and fun. And because Lauren Bacall is talking to him, she's just looking directly into the camera and like lighting a cigarette and flirting with like you because you're the. I'm like, here's the thing. If you want Lauren Bacall to flirt with you, watch Dark Passage.
I mean, you've already stop right there. You've already made the sale. Thank you.
And then he gets plastic surgery, and it unveils to be Humphrey Bogart. And I'm like, I love how this guy gets plastic surgery.
Here's another liberal quote about Laura. She's like, regarding the use of the term L word liberal in a negative way by some politicians, she said, "I love it, and I think it's outrageous to say the L word. I mean, excuse me, they should be damn lucky that they were." That there were liberals here. Liberals gave more to the population of the United States than any other group.
I think, I mean, that meant something a lot different, in her time than it does in our time. Like,
because it's all about being being civil, and she's like, fuck that.
But there's a big thing about FDR, which so many people in this milieu were like, big FDR heads and like really loved the New Deal. Long after that became, kind of fell out of fashion after World War II, and then after Harry Truman and all of that. So it's like it makes a lot more sense, I think, in that context. In this context, where liberal, when it's used derisively, is like, I wish they were more like that than they are. They are like Chuck Schumer bailing on a government shutdown.
We will win. We won't rest. Oh wait, we did.
Please. Let's change the topic.
Yeah. So I had something that I wanted to bring. Oh, so the Ziggy guy, right? What do you guys think about that? Because I feel like that is ahead of its time in the sense that like the jovial kind of mobster character, right? That's like. That comes up to them, and I'd like to. There's a lot of crazy dialogue in this that I really appreciated. One of the things is I like that he's trying to force that guy Curly to like talk. So he's like, "Come on, Curly, come on, say something." And he's like, "I bet we'll have prohibition back in 2 years tops."
Yeah, great.
Like and it'll be just like it was. And there's so much of that kind of Sopranos thing where it's like everyone's like, remember when, like they're like, remember when the lowest form of conversation. But it's like they're looking back because this guy's been exiled to Cuba, essentially. I mean, he's based off of, there's like a bunch of like gangsters that at the time, Lucky Luciano, like they were all kind of stuck in Cuba because they got deported from the United States for a long time. And I like that they're doing this looking back thing. And the guy that comes there, he's trying to make small talk with them. And his small talk is also, I bet we'll have prohibition back in 2 years tops. And things will be great, and this time we won't shoot at each other. Which, you see that with D. Robinson in this movie. That's not what's going to happen.
Well, but there's a lot of great little like tossed off lines like that let you know what kind of dudes those are. Like they have the whole like, are you thieves or what? You want monies as a robbery? Yeah, Pop, we're gonna steal all your towels. Great, that's a great line. That's
that guy's cracking wise. That guy's cracking wise, and yet he doesn't know what a joke is. When he's reading.
Yeah, exactly.
Finally he laughs at something that's funny for once.
Well, and there's a lot of lines that hit well that are more poignant rather than like being funny as well. But like it's it's a good balance. Like it's a well written script. And some of them are just cruel. Especially pretty much anything that is Johnny Rocco saying, but it still works, especially when you're like, wow, this guy sucks.
Yeah,
does a good job of getting that across. Like he's not like he did nothing wrong. He's a cool guy doing cool guy things.
Edward G. Robinson, by the way, another well-known liberal. Like his politics were really like in that mold. And that character, the Johnny Rocco character, is based off of the head of Huac.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
The head of Huac at the time.
It really seemed like being a liberal was so cool for a time.
Yeah, then J. Parnell Thomas was the guy, and so the guy that headed those hearings that put away the Hollywood 10. Within 3 years of that, he was in the same prison as two people in the Hollywood 10. Because it turns out that there was a lot of people that wanted to stick a knife in his back after that, and he had put his niece and her maid on the payroll illegally, and so they got him for that, and it was in all the newspapers, and brought him down, which led to the rise of McCarthy as as the person actually running these hearings.
Wow. Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, well, I mean, Roy Cohn was working for, and Bobby Kennedy was also working.
Yeah, well, yeah, there's ripple effects all down the line, sure. Yeah.
No, not that one, but
yeah, not that one, not that one.
Bobby Kennedy Sr. was
not Hoggle.
They were the two sides of basically like the more left leaning side, and then like the more far right Cretan side of things. But yeah, so that guy is who Edward G. Robinson and John Huston based that character off of.
Well, so getting back to the plot, you get out on the water, right? And that's something where he just, even though they're goofing on him over and over again, it's like he outdoes them in every way, shape, and form, like from beginning to end. And it's great because it's not, you don't have anyone like announce that or just be like, well, the last thing you want to do is be out on the water with him because he's so skilled in it. Yeah, we heard that. We know. Like it's and it's something where, again, as you said, it's a show not tell, which I appreciate. I think it makes it better. And just that grin he gives when there's like the the Edward G. Robinson character is below deck and he's above deck. It's so good. And it's so noir, right? It's such a just like, yeah, I got you. And then he keeps like bargaining and he's like, how about this? How about I just give you all the money? How about it's just going through like every, and we're so used to seeing that now. And certainly that kind of thing had been depicted before, but this is like one of the better applications with it in the classic noir. Go ahead, McKenzie.
No, I just think the patience too of that final face-off is great. Like how Bogart is like not speaking because he knows if he just lets him keep talking, eventually he'll slip up. And like I feel like the tension keeps getting pulled out and like stretched out because he's letting him go on for so long. And like he doesn't know Bogart's on the roof. Like I just think it's a really great like tense final standoff and a really tense good movie. Yeah, I love it.
I feel like there's like people always ask like why aren't there that many good mob movies lately, and I feel like part of it is that like show don't tell thing where it's like the dialogue when mob movies are good, right? Like the dialogue has to be a lot of times so inane to make the actual like violence and action of the movie work.
Also in like a post Goodfellas society, there's been reality shows, mob wives and stuff like that. Like a lot of people know too much about the innings, and like there was supposed to be some type of mystique surrounding like being in the mafia, but not everyone knows like what goes on.
Post Goodfellas and post Sopranos specifically.
Sopranos,
as much as I love the Sopranos, and
But the Sopranos did this really well too, where it's inane chatter a lot of the time while these violent things are happening. It's the juxtaposition of having these, and the Sopranos obviously took it to like an extreme where it's like a suburban dad that you're watching do normal things, but it's like there's like an inaneness to everything where this chatter has to be kind of almost jovial but also threatening, and you like when you spell things out when you're like, I'm gonna get you, like it loses that kind of charm that all like a lot of these characters have. And part
she
of
won't stop yelling. I just had to pick her up. Screaming.
Part of the reason that Johnny Rocco works so well is that like throughout this entire thing, it's like
there is a twinge of your David Lynch in that impersonation, FYI, but that's not a bad thing.
It's Friday once again.
It's Friday. It's Friday once again. Well, maybe that's just because that's how I sat. Maybe I just have a range.
It's fine. It's fine.
But like, there's a
beloved character actor Forrest Miller.
And I can only kind of do. I can do this.
He's got like 1.5 impersonations, but he does them all the time. Don't worry.
Kind of guy.
That's a good Jordan Peterson.
Exactly. I can do this voice, and it changes up to here, and then it changes up to here, and then it changes down
and then you could do the Bob Dylan.
I can also do an Israeli accent apparently that I didn't know that I could do until I did it.
I discovered that.
Tune into the after party for all that, people. Anyway, what were you saying for? Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, we need to do an after party, I guess, because it's getting silly in here.
Need to get out of our system. Yeah.
There's that like a nameness to all the chatter, and it's like an awkwardness to all the chatter, where it's these people kind of hanging around that I feel like we've lost because of the dialogue, right? Like we've lost because so much dialogue is like tell and
overplotted too. Just this having too much plot, because that's the thing. As I've seen people kind of bag on this movie for not having too much of a plot. I think the problem now, and there are great movies that just there's too many plot points to it. Like this is going to be a weird one to pull up, but like the Renfield movie, it's like you need like a quarter of this plot for this movie to work. You don't need any of this. You need half these characters, frankly, and it was like this could have been a great movie. It was fine. It was fine.
I feel like there are times when
don't worry, he made up for it for being a Nosferatu.
Well, absolutely, yeah, it was great in that.
Maybe people will get mad at me for this, but there's times when I feel that way about Paul Thomas Anderson movies. It's like all plot.
There is a lot of plot. Yeah.
A lot, like, I mean, I don't know. Like, I was thinking about, like, Inherent Vice. Like, there's so much, like...
What?
That's the one everyone says is... Yeah, that's...
Yeah, I mean, that's... that would be an interesting conversation. I'll probably try and get into that movie at some point, but...
I watched it a couple... I can't remember what... I think it was when Licorice Pizza came out. I watched it. And it was, like, in between us doing episodes for something. But, yeah, so then the end of this, not great. Wikipedia, work on your synopses, synopsi.
On your open source unpaid synopses, yeah, please.
Out on the Straits of Florida, out on the Straits of Florida, Frank uses seamanship, trickery, and the stolen gun to kill the gang members one by one. He then heads back to Key Largo while
it's kind of Die Hard. It's kind of proto Die Hard in a way.
Yeah, or while waiting for Coast Guard help and to get a
Key Largo, a Christmas movie.
He's the Nakatomi Plaza. It was like, I gotta wait to go back to the Nakatomi Plaza.
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
Meanwhile, Gay tells Wade, it's hard to be like, hey, Gay, get in here.
Gay is in. Gay is cool. I want some Gay.
He's like, her original name was like Molly Malloy, but I changed her name to Gay.
Gay,
right.
Gay Dawn. It's the dawn of the. It's the
Happy dawn.
Dawn of the gays.
A surprisingly not very queer coded movie for someone with Gay Dawn in it, but anyway.
Gay dawn.
This is when gay meant happy, Conan. Okay.
Okay. All right. Thanks for explaining.
Later on, the Key Largo Hotel actually became the spot of Stonewall, and that's why it was Gay Dawn. No Stonewall. Stonewall. All right.
Swing and a miss. All right, moving on.
Meanwhile,
you can't pet every cat, Forrest. Come on.
Wade mentions that Ziggy's gang has been captured and leaves with Gay to identify them. The phone rings. James and Nora are delayed to hear that Frank is. For a second, I was like, "Who's James?" But then I was like, "Oh, the dad."
The dad.
James and Nora are delighted to hear that Frank is returning safely. Nora opens the shutters to the sun, the Gay Dawn. While out at sea, Frank steers the boat towards shore. He's back, baby. He's on land. He's a land lover.
Well, it doesn't wrap everything up with a neat bow either, which is very noir. It doesn't like over.
Oh yes, some ending, of course, like we kind of saw in Mildred Pierce.
The last Japanese submarine
go back with the husband?
Fires a torpedo into the boat and blows up as it gets to shore.
Was Ari Aster? What's happening?
No, it's just that it's that last guy from World War II that didn't know the world was over that they found or whatever. He's like, the boat just explodes, and it's like, damn.
We hardly knew him.
Yeah, I like the ending. The ending's ambiguous. I like ambiguous. I think ambiguous for noir especially works very well.
You couldn't do it. You couldn't do it today. You couldn't do that ending. It would have to be like, wow, I'm in love with Frank McCloud.
Right,
he's coming back to shore, and we're going to be together. And he's like, I can't wait to get back to shore because I'm also in love with you. He picks up the phone and he's like, listen, of all the women in all the Key Largo hotels, and I had to come into this one. Here's looking to you, kid.
Just make a meta referential reference to Casablanca.
I mean, he did it with why'd you stick your neck out? And he's like, I don't know. That relationship didn't work out, so he's now looking for a new one.
I mean, I think it all works. McKenzie, how do you feel about the ending of this good old Key Largo?
I love it. I'm glad he lives. I love this movie from beginning to end. It's like so my type of movie, and it is it's definitely in my top Bogart performances ever. I love him in this movie. I love the whole cast. It's just, this is a perfect movie for me. I love it so much.
There's something to like, he's obviously he's a brave guy, and in the end you're like, like you realize like, oh, he was the brave one. At the same time though, like very lost. Like he can't get himself, which I think happened to a lot of people. Like after the war is over, they've been at war for so long they can't get themselves really situated back into the world. He has no family, he has nothing, and he's like by himself in this crazy world. In this crazy world, two kids find each other. No, but you get the same feeling from Lauren Bacall, like, except for the fact that she obviously found her husband who then died and then found his father as like that's her family now. But it's like this not thrown together, but like, I don't know, like just this arrangement that seems like it really works for her, but it works because of like this tragedy. And she tells the story of her backstory and kind of just finding this guy and falling in love, and then he goes right to the war. And it's like there's this loneliness to all of their characters, I think, that they don't beat you over the head with.
Yeah, it comes across well, and I think it's one of the reasons why this is an enduring. Like, you listen, some noir is fantastic and is very much, this is of the time, right? But I think a lot of it works even if you don't have the exact reference points from that era at your immediate fingertips or understanding. Like, the feelings come across, and that's one of the reasons why it's effective as a movie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I also feel like this is the last thing I'll say before we can jump to one-liners, I guess. It's pretty clear that John Huston didn't go into the he was working with he went to Italy, like he did, but he was making documentaries at the time, pretty much for the military. So he was like watching this combat happen with a camera in his hand, essentially. And you get the feeling that he was very affected and then very demoralized when he came back in the world. And so you get the feeling that he's kind of working on his own post-war kind of feeling through this movie, and through the reworking of this incredibly reactionary conservative script, and through the McCarthy period, right? Like,
my cats could never.
Yeah, absolutely. No, and I think that's very notable. Something else is notable is, of course, Letterboxd, a social media site for film lovers who talk with and to each other about the movies they love, maybe the movies they didn't love, maybe the movies that they only quoted that one specific Mike Love penned Beach Boys song, because that's the only reference that they apparently have in their lives. And, of course, everybody gets to chime in a pie, not just Siskel's and Eberts of the world. Everyone gets to talk about all the movies all the time. A bottom-up democracy. This is best expressed for the purposes of this bit succinctly, where I collect the best of these every week and put them on the screen for Forrest and the rest of the panel to react to. These are the Letterboxd one-liners for Key Largo. Let's roll them. How did anyone live without air conditioning?
Good question.
I never realized how late in the game air conditioning came around. Like,
I don't have air conditioning right now, and it sucks. I hate it.
Oh no, it's like 30 degrees where I'm at. So, want to hang out?
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, it's. I know I'm just a little bit north, but yeah.
I lived in Tennessee my whole life, and every apartment you lived in had central air. That's just how it is in Tennessee, and in Chicago, not so much. So I just have radiators and a little wall lamp or wall fan. It's awful.
39 degrees feels like 30 currently. So there you go.
The the rotary compressor, like the units, right? The air conditioning units, 1957. Those ones were invented. So they had them before, but like when they actually invented the ones that could go into like housing, that's like late in the game. And it's also one of the reasons why this is such peak sweaty cinema, like Wages of Fear or something, right? Where it's just like there's so much sweat, where it's like, it's like intrinsic to the plot. Yeah, apparently in the 1920s, a big reason why people went to the movies so much is that they had comfort.
Air conditioning.
1920s, when I was in junior high school, man. Ask me how I saw Halloween 6 twice.
Why would you see Halloween 6 twice?
Because of air conditioning. It was air conditioned in the movie theater and not at the house. Saw Mallrats twice for the same reason, but that's a different conversation. Anyway, moving on.
I've seen Mallrats twice with air conditioning in the house.
There you go. Well, taste all kinds, I guess. Johnny Rocco is a great criminal, but I probably wouldn't take a bath during a major hurricane with an electric fan inches from me.
Yeah.
Johnny Rocco!
I've been electrocuted, see? Yeah.
The movie's over very quickly when he just gets electrocuted.
Wait,
and that's Key Largo, credits roll.
If Johnny Rocco electrocuted himself, what would happen to his gang?
Oh, come on. Who's even the number 2? I don't know.
There is no
Curly?
number 2. The
Probably
closest
Curly's.
Curly.
Oh
And he's
man,
a Three Stooges character.
Yeah, you're boned.
Yeah.
that gang is going nowhere.
he's poking Toots in the eye.
Yeah, I know exactly. It's a physical routine. 2 of the henchmen in this are called Curly and Toots. If that's a classic noir, then I don't know what is. Speaking of which,
there's always like this Hays Code thing, right? Where there's like things are very female coded, but they're actually supposed to be coded for like a gay relationship, or like one person's kind of the alpha, one person's kind of submissive kind of thing. And it feels like Toots as a name is very much that, where it's like trying to show who's the most who's the farthest down, I guess, in the alpha chain, the youngest one, right? And you're like, hey, Toots, come in here, like
there's always got to be someone at the bottom of the totem pole, right?
Yeah,
so to speak.
Hey, Toots. No, not you. No, not you. Him.
Toots.
Who knew it was possible for anyone to look as good in a white button-up shirt as Lauren does?
She's so beautiful.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. And like
all time.
Those eyes.
But like it almost makes Edward G. Robinson, who is a clownish looking individual and who is not his face in this is so amazing because it's so expressive and it's so over the top, but he outshines he outshines Bogart, he outshines Bacall, he outshines he kind of steals the show in every scene that he's in, past all these people that are like better looking as stars, have these in any other movie you'd be automatically drawn to them, and I feel like your eye is drawn to Edward G. Robinson's magnetic performance in this, in the same way that you're kind of drawn to Robert Mitchum in Night of the Hunter in every scene he's in. Those are the two people.
Yeah, right. Very compelling visual. Yeah, absolutely. She looked amazing in The Big Sleep. She looks amazing in everything she's in.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're talking about this movie, though.
Again, even A Mirror Has Two Faces. I mean, she aged so beautifully.
Glamorous.
There's like that
and her
part
voice
in
got
there.
even deeper and
oh my
smokier.
God, beautiful. Oh, and I'm obsessed with the High Point coffee commercials where Lauren Bacall's like, I love High Point coffee.
I forgot about those. Yeah.
They're so, I watch them like weekly. I love them so much. Anyway, she's incredible.
I'd like not to bring up The Sopranos again. There's that whole sequence where Chris Moltisanti and they rob the Hollywood party and they take off with Lauren Bacall's stuff and they have her make a cameo because she was still alive. Obviously, at that point, like she lived for a really long time. So they have her take off with her Hollywood goodie bag or whatever that's worth like $36,000.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot about that. Yeah.
I love that subplot. Just because they let Lauren Bacall, she's on screen and she was 100% down with it. Like,
yeah, put her on screen. John Huston was the only man brave enough to ask, "What if Edward G. Robinson was introduced wet and nude?"
It feels like he's introduced wet and nude, and everyone else is soaking fucking wet.
Right, exactly.
In like the worst way possible.
Yeah, no, not in a good way. In the same way as 12 Angry Men. Like, but like, it's like, how can we one up that? How can we really like stick it to the audience and make it almost hard to watch? It's like, let's put him nude in the bathtub when he first meet him, and he stands up and you stand up with him, and it's like, are we about to see Edward G. Robinson's dick in this?
Pull a Willem Dafoe here? Yeah, what's going on?
Edward G. Robinson. Well, the thing is, I was trying to think that through because he stands up nude. He like barely puts anything on before Curly walks in. So I'm like, is Curly just seeing him dick out? Like, I was kind of thinking about that.
But like there is like I was saying about the Toots thing, right? Like there always is kind of this clear coded thing to a lot of these like gangsters in movies where it's like in noir movies specifically, but it's like they always have multiple of these things where it's like the other thing they used to do is like a character, like I mean they did this first, I think actually it was John Huston that did this first. Peter Lorre is always introduced with the small gun in Maltese Falcon, and it's supposed to be the reason that he has a small gun is like his sexuality. They're making a play on his inherent weakness and his sexuality. And later in this movie, the gun that he takes off of Angel is a small gun. Does the same. They do the same kind of thing. So these characters are kind of in this I don't know, like this incestuous pile in a way, like and the fact that they're all living together in that hotel, like I would watch that spinoff though and see what they do. See what they're doing on a normal basis. It's like they're all living in the Chicago hotel.
Right, absolutely. I'd watch it. We don't call people wise guy enough anymore.
Wow. Much worse. What's the term he uses?
Weisenheimer.
No, he says wise guy. And he says, damn. No, I can't.
What is that? Was that the gangster version of Oppenheimer? Weisenheimer?
Real Weisenheimer.
Right. Oh, a dumbbell. That's what it is. What's worse, a dumbbell or a wise guy? Wise guy, I think. I don't think I've ever seen another movie where they've called a stupid person a dumbbell. That has to be where the dumb is. Well, one.
Yeah. Cartoons.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh, you dumbbell.
Everybody trying to figure out what the hell they're supposed to do after World War II. I too would choose drinking.
Yeah.
Looks very glamorous.
But we won.
But I mean, that's the thing, bro. Like, did we like the whole thing is like we're gonna make the world safe from fascism, and it's like guys like Johnny Rocco still exist. But you look at Key Largo, and it's somehow a sadder world than like even like the Third Man, and the Third Man is like it's like what do we do? What do we do after World War II when our city's been destroyed? And then this is like, what do we do after World War II but we're stuck in Florida?
Yeah. Now I would drink if I was stuck in Florida after World War II.
I would drink if I was in Florida at any point. It really sucks.
A time when fascists were considered bad.
There's something very Trumpian about it, about the characters too. Like there's it really is at the point where the gangster kind of people are running the government, and like not in a cool way. Like these are not cool. Like you don't look at Johnny Rocco and think like that's the guy I want to be.
No.
Like Robert De Niro style.
A lot of these films, like Casablanca, is the same way. I find it very inspirational because the Nazis are the bad guys. And
right.
They're obviously wrong.
Nowadays, if you beat the shit out of someone for wearing a Hitler costume Halloween, you get criticized for going after a true patriot. I'm like, what the fuck is going on now?
There's a really great, really underseen Humphrey Bogart film called Black Legion. Have any of you heard of this?
Oh, I never heard of that. What is that?
Yeah.
It's really good. It's a Warner Brothers like social justice picture, and it's like a young Bogart, and he plays a guy who pretty much accidentally gets embroiled in like an offshoot of the KKK. And it's
shit.
Like, really good, like because it's about how this guy's like, in theory, innocuous biases against like immigrants plummets him into this dark realm, and the movie ends kind of with the judge being like, "You all are scum of the earth, racist weirdos. You suck." Yes. Okay. 1930
respect. Yeah, respect.
That's the unaccredited director, Michael Curtiz.
In Black
Get out, really? Yeah.
I know that Archie Mayo did it. I mean, that's probably one of my favorites.
I don't know.
My top 5 Bogart performances.
They must have replaced Curtiz at one point, but yeah, it says
Archie Mayo, co-director.
Yeah,
that's incredible. I mean, I don't doubt it.
We just talked about. Well, I mean, we talked about Velvet Tears, but we had we talked a lot about Curtiz in that episode.
It's so good. Anyway, I have that. Like, I have my favorite performances of his are like this, Casablanca, In a Lonely Place, and Black Legion. So I totally recommend it.
Hey, why does Humphrey Bogart with all the women in the women around him, and then the KKK guys kind of looks like the young pictures of like Curtis Lewa from like the 80s when they're like
he's got the beret.
He does have a beret, but he looks like he would have a beret. Like
the beret's implied.
Yeah.
Implied beret. Yeah.
Implied
the beret stays on.
I think they're opening for us in Kansas City. Anyway, implied beret, everybody. Thank you. We're going to party like it's 1949 and being held captive by a wise guy gangsta.
Ayo.
We're going to party like it's 1949. See?
Yeah, that is.
And we're not gonna let anyone perform 1949 at any specific celebration of the year 1949. Prince did that. Prince did not want when 1999 came around. Prince was like, "I'm not performing my song for any big event."
I wouldn't either. You're gonna overplay the song, but no, I feel like we're gonna party like it's 1949, and they like put you to work in the factory. You're like, God damn it,
this isn't what I meant.
The economy is fucked. So if you lost your cushy 9 to 5 job from home, just pretend you worked in the factory for 15 years.
And putting together rockets. Yeah, it's a real party.
You're like airplane part.
Yeah,
I thought that was a drink. I thought that was a drink.
Springsteen recession is here.
I thought airplane. I thought when you said diesel, you were talking about a drink I've never heard. I didn't know you were trying to make me like actually
Jesus. This is why you don't go to Florida.
True.
Amen.
They really they like the fact that this is Key Largo. Like they make sure the whole movie they're like this is the Largo the Largo Hotel. This is Key Largo. It's my first time in Key Largo. You ever been here before? Key Largo is so fucking hot. We don't even want to be here.
This film would have done well with vertical dramas.
Absolutely. So those are Letterboxd one-liners for Key Largo. Please follow the show on the popular Letterboxd format of our HQ account at Movie Night Extra. Oh, but this is the.
Oh my god,
He's good album cover.
Wow.
Yeah.
This looks like a pretty banger promo picture. I'm not gonna lie. Like this would be like if I saw we were playing with this band, I would get stoked. I'd be like, hell yeah.
Put it side by side though, with the picture of the Guardian Angels from 1980, and it's
and I'd be like, are those guys in the back horn section? What's going on? Anyway,
they were real. They were like the Midwest
something like that.
Offshoot of the KKK. Like it was.
That's crazy.
Which was big in the 1920s, and they based themselves off of Birth of a Nation.
All right, I'm trying to back out to spit. Can I do that, please? All right, so at Movie Night Extra, the Letterboxd HQ account, Johnny Rocco fan, clearly Johnny Rocco fan, at Flacco. Follow him along for his filmetic journey. He just did African Queen, as so mentioned. You can follow him for
African Queen.
Oh, okay. You were in Dancing Queen. I thought you were going to do Caribbean Queen.
Yes.
I was like,
Yeah, me too. Forrest, you missed the mark on that one.
ABBA sings African Queen.
Well, maybe we'll hear about it in the after party. Conan Neutron at Conan Neutron. That's me, a wise guy. See, follow me along for the highbrow, the populist fair, the all that stuff. My Criterion challenge is donezo. I completed it. It was great. It was wonderful. I still got the Borny to do, and many other things. So, but follow me along for all that stuff if you're interested in the kind of stuff that I'm spouting. Kristina, Key Largo, Montego, baby, why don't we go down to Letterboxd and follow I'm Kristina for Kristina Oaks over there, who is logging. I saw you two logged Frankenstein, so maybe we'll talk about that in the after party.
I'm gonna watch Frankenstein this week with my grandma. That's why I decided, because I have to go down there and she's sick, so I have to like watch like hang out with her while my mom does stuff. So I'm gonna watch Frankenstein then. Hell
yeah, great. So we'll talk about all that too. The great McKenzie Wilkes, Bogey devotee. She is on Letterboxd as well. I believe it's it's your name.
It's just my name.
Wilkes,
yeah.
Right? Yeah. Like same here. So there you go. So please follow her if you don't already. Movie Night Extras. Let's hit it with the plugs, and then we'll close out with some final thoughts.
All right, one second. I was not ready this time.
Yeah.
If you're watching us on YouTube, please like and subscribe, and then hit the bell to get notified whenever we're streaming. And we'd humbly request that you watch the video to the end, because it helps us with the algorithm and helps more film fans to discover the show. We're also monetized. If you want to get your chat questions definitely read on stream, you can always send us a super chat, which will help us keep the show going. Every cent helps. If you're watching on Twitch, you can gift us a free sub on Amazon Prime with your Prime membership, but getting subs on Twitch is always appreciated, and it helps to follow us on there as well. We also have an audio feed, which is available wherever you download podcasts, if you prefer to listen to podcasts rather than watch the stream. That's updated usually the same day we stream, but watching on YouTube and Twitch is the best way to get the show first, live as it happens. If you want to support us with a monthly donation and get access to all of our after parties forever, which go patron only after we do them, you can become a patron at patreon.com/movie night extra. Link is in the description for that. It really helps us keep the show going, since we do have some expenses to make this happen. We also have a Discord community. Link is in the description for that. We sometimes watch movies we cover on there. We get into conversations about everything from film to TV shows to related podcasts. We even have a Discord channel for memes. It's really fun on there. You can find us on all the social media platforms: Facebook, Instagram, Blue Sky, Twitter, and Threads. You connect with us on all of those. Talk to us. We'd love to hear from you. Lastly, we recently made a TikTok at Movie Night Extra where we're putting up short form clips from the episodes. Okay, passing this to Conan so he can tell you about his music and this week's Protonic Reversal. Conan, who's on Protonic this week?
There is no Protonic Reversal this week because I'm back on tour, baby! But of course, you can always go to protonicreversal.com or anywhere you find your podcast for anything in the archives. Advance access, patreon.com/Protonic Reversal, $1 a month for all that good stuff. There is some good stuff coming. The year-end episodes coming up as well. And there's like 2 or 3 really good ones, but nothing for a little while. So deal with it. And of course, as mentioned, Conan Neutron, The Secret Friends, back on tour. Feels like we were just on tour. That's because we were just on tour. But we are going out for the final leg here. I will play this great little insect-themed video that I made, short-form content this morning with a flashy spiders dancing around. There you go. This is my attempt to do it in short form.
I love spiders, Conan.
So this has got all the dates on here. We got Kansas City, we got Jackson, Atlanta, New Orleans, Austin, Denton, Wichita. If you live in any of those places, please come out. If you know people in those places, please tell them to come out. neutronfriends.bandcamp.com is the best place to get merchandise. Actually, shoot, I just remembered I have like 4 orders I got to send out. Whoops. And I leave in hours. Cool. You can also find us any of the streamers. There's still Villain of Circumstance video. Very relevant. Because we're doing Noir Month, it's a Noir-themed video, so come check that out in the comments if you haven't already.
So many references.
So many references. You could literally play Spot the Reference, and you'd have a pretty good time, frankly, if I do say so myself.
Stick references, bro. You know I love you.
And of course, also playing with Mike Watt in Los Angeles for my birthday, December 5th. So excited for that as well. That is my life right now. I almost can't believe that I'm doing this and an after party, but here I am. Putting it all on the line for y'all, the listeners. But I'm happy to do it. And I think that is it for me. Yeah, just if you spread it around, I guess, spread it around the tour dates. It's people find out about things in weird ways now. I don't know. Like I made a short form content with cool looking spiders. What do you want from me? Do I need to do more? Probably. I don't know. Anyway, Kristina, what do you got?
Well, Forrest and I are going to be starting a political show eventually, possibly starting December.
Nice. Starting December. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, we're aiming for December.
We're doing it on Thursdays, and he's got stuff, I got stuff for the rest of the month, so it's like, Yeah.
Do you have a name?
So all right. So it's taken as long as it has, because we started talking about this back in.
You're talking about a while ago, yeah.
Yeah. And I couldn't think of a name. The other day I was taking a shower and the name popped into my head like 8 a.m. The Absurdist Space. Because we're gonna be doing it on the space, so it's like
all right,
a space to process the absurdity and like ridiculousness and dark, I guess, almost humorous,
that sounds like something I would actually listen to then. Okay, good.
Come down and chop a trap house. Don't know what we're coming for them. Just kidding. Also, I'm going to be doing a little Twitchy panel this Thursday, 6 p.m. We're going to be talking about like what the left can do now after, Mom Donnie's win. And I'm over here like, ew, I don't know. The Democrats really kind of fucked that one up already. But
we will win. We will win.
It's saved for the after
We won't rest. Oh, wait, we did. We rested. We did. Also, on Saturday, I'm going to be going on with Josh in the afternoon, too, to discuss The Wizard of Oz, because he's never seen it before in his whole life. Never.
Well, he's in the KT Redux.
I like
he's watching it for good, and I'm like, okay.
I like that Josh has a movie show, and it's just a guy that's never seen any movie.
Has he ever seen a movie before? Yeah.
I mean, it's gonna be, but also too, it coincides because this week on Thursday, Bailey Searing is dropping her Dark History episode on The Wizard of Oz and the making of it, because 13 writers, 5 directors, a movie like that could not be made today with all.
By the way, folks should also check out our Wizard of Oz episode, which we started the year with, and is pretty great. That, of course, KT Baldessaro, former host of the show, had never seen Wizard of Oz, and so we got to see the before and after for that. And I feel like it's a very, very good episode. So, especially with the new Wicked coming out, it's a good time to revisit that one.
1 week and 2 days to go. Yay.
My God, I guess it is November. Yeah, you're right. Jesus.
I know, I can't wait.
Get in the van in like 20 hours. Yeah, okay, yeah.
I'm going to be an emotional wreck on the 20th because I'm seeing it on the Thursday preview. Whoop, whoop. What else have I got? Also, I did my show and, ranted about, Democrats fumbling the bag again.
Yeah, I didn't notice. Anything happen?
Schumer shutdown narrative too, by the way. So that's all I pretty much got going on. Oh, wait. Also, too, maybe Saturday or Sunday night, my mom and I are going to decorate my room for the Christmas, inspired by Melania Trump, because she is the queen of Gothic Christmas, Krampus, the Press 4. I'm here for it. I hate that people mock her for it, but she has an eye for like.
I think it's one of the coolest things she's ever done. I thought it looked badass.
I know. I was like, yes, this looks so dark and depressing for Christmas.
Yeah.
Yes, let's go.
Great.
Remember the blood trees?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Looking at yep. Okay.
By the way, we should also say
remember
next,
the blood
the
trees,
lighting.
everybody.
yeah.
It's the reason for the season. Remember the blood trees.
the
blood trees.
Conan, you're on tour next week.
I'm on tour this week. I'm on tour in like a day and a half. Yeah.
Yeah, but you're gonna be.
Oh, but I'm on tour next week and not on the show. Right. Okay,
yeah,
that's right. Yeah,
but it's
yeah,
gonna be. We have our good friend Josh Dugan coming back on.
And what are you guys doing?
The long goodbye. And it happens every day.
Hey.
How nice of me to give up doing an alt.
Yeah, I was surprised. I thought you were gonna be like, all right, you guys
don't understand. Conan made the ultimate sacrifice. Okay, you don't understand.
Yeah, it's gonna be a great show. I'll listen to it.
At least you didn't give up the Big Lebowski.
Or
hell no.
I'm
not gonna give that up.
Actually, no. Conan would have fucking killed us on stream if we did Sunset Boulevard without him.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. We're not. I'm not missing
Like,
Sunset
this podcast
Boulevard.
would be
I'm
done
not
so
big
if we
missing
did it,
Lebowski. Yeah, I was like, all right, then I guess I'm missing the long goodbye. But it'll be great. That'll be a great conversation. Looking
The
forward
first
to
time, the first American audiences got early Arnold with his. I forget
That's
about
true.
that every
Yeah.
time. But it's
Everybody take your clothes off. Everybody take your clothes off.
I remember watching that about mind blown because I knew Arnold was in the scene, but I forgot until I like watched it, and then he's like Arnold.
Also,
I'm taking off my clothes.
If I'm not mistaken, I think like Robert Englund was in the Long Goodbye too. I think.
Anyway, find out all about it next week when they do it. McKenzie, what are your plugs? Let's.
Yes, I host a couple of movie podcasts because I'm crazy, I guess. And so the one people are probably familiar with is Austin Danger Podcast, which I host with previous guest of Movie Night Extravaganza and future guest of Movie Night Extravaganza, Kev. We talk about films connected to the Austin Powers trilogy very loosely, aka we talk about a lot of studio comedies and films from the 90s and 80s and early 2000s. And for the higher brow, I host the Criterion Connection with my dear friend Ian. This month we're doing a Noirvember duo of both Nightmare Alleys with our dear friend Guthie. So that is fun. You can listen to 1947's Nightmare Alley now, and then in 2 weeks we will have the Guillermo del Toro one up, so that'll be fun. That show
We've
is
never done the
Guillermo
Guillermo one, but we did the original one. It was the first time Eileen Jones came on the show. I remember.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
It was a first watch for me, and I loved it.
Yeah, it's really good. Carney Noir, for sure.
Carney Noir. And then that show recently has gone down to bi-weekly because Ian and I are also doing a new film podcast called Above the Line. We're still kind of figuring out the format. Right now, it seems like we're leaning towards more like bite-sized individual film episodes. So you can listen to 30-minute episodes on Blue Moon, on If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You. We have discussed One Battle After Another. We're going to be talking about Begonia with Kev. We're going to be talking about Sentimental Value with a friend. We might have Guthie for Frankenstein. So we got a lot of basically we're going to be talking about everything that's new to theaters. So if you're interested in something similar to Big Picture in that realm of new film, AboveTheLinePod.com is your source for that.
Yeah, that first episode was epic. It was like epic length. It felt like one of our after parties.
It was so long, and
and
that's why eventually we're like, maybe we start chopping it up a little bit. So we're chopping them up a little bit more, so they're more bite sized.
I had to stop on the If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You episode because you got into spoiler territory, and I do really want to see that. But
we do, we get very into
show.
spoilers, so definitely like watch the movies before you check it out.
You just reminded me, by the way. I was, I think I mentioned it last week, but I was on Film Suck with a friend of the show, Eileen Jones, to talk about Begonia. So if people want to check that out, that's on Film Suck. That was a great conversation. Forrest is going to die angry about not being asked to be on it. We're going to do Begonia in February, I'm sure. I'm sure we will.
I didn't say it. You said it. I didn't say it.
I mean, I haven't. At least you two been on. I haven't.
Yeah. Well,
okay. Kristina's going to die angry for a different reason, apparently.
No, I think Kristina would be great on Film Suck.
That'd be great, yeah.
Maybe doing a Joan Crawford movie would be.
Yeah, Eileen is so smart about like classic, like old style movies. And Kristina knows so much about Joan Crawford.
Yeah, it's a big powerhouse.
Anyway,
I mean, whatever.
You could like I sometimes I hit up Eileen and just pitch her stuff. Like I'm like, this is an idea.
I guess this is classic after party material right here. But I actually said I would do a whole thing on Howard Hawks because I've recently become very obsessed with Howard Hawks.
So good.
Yeah, I love Howard Hawks. Thank you. So McKenzie, anything else? So Above the Line, Criterion Connection, which is a show I listen to regularly. Austin Danger Podcast, which is another show I listen to regularly.
Yeah, that's all I got going on.
Podcasts.
I know. Well, my friend Ned and I during the pandemic also did a Desperate Housewives rewatch podcast. That got through most of into season 4. We are kind of quietly recording a backlog. So if you want to hear me talk about Desperate Housewives, that is going to be coming back in the new year.
I love Marsha Cross. She's so awesome. She's pro-Palestine. She's the best.
Yeah, no, and so we're in season 4 right now. We've not posted for like 3 years, and we're just gonna come back.
That's rad. You're just gonna freaking lay hands on it. Here comes the feed.
I mean, we've recorded like 10 episodes so far. We've been working on the last couple months very quietly. So in the new year, I've really said that very publicly a lot, but yeah, in the new year, technically that will happen as well.
So my show, Pornographer's, has been around like 11 years now, and I had a show before that, and we never did like a final episode of it or anything. So, and we're all still friends. So I keep joking every year. I'm like, we should just do an episode, just throw it in the feed, and just like have people like, what? Like 12-year-old dead feed, and then like suddenly a new episode comes out. It's hilarious. I love that stuff. Why not? There's no rules.
Yeah.
What are the rules?
I mean, that is the thing about podcasting that really makes it, that makes it like fun. Like the fact that, there are so many different kinds of formats you can do. Like, I don't think, or like, there's a lack of rules to it. It's the Wild West, and it still is somehow.
Wicked wild west, Jim Rest, Desperado, what rider? You know the Will Smith song, right?
Okay, you know what? Like, we're gonna do an after party. All we gotta do is get through these final thoughts. All right, so we can.
All right, McKenzie, let's hear those final thoughts.
Oh God, I love this movie. I think it's fantastic. I love that it's talky. It's perfectly cast. It's one of my favorite Humphrey Bogart performances. It's my favorite of the Bogart and Bacall films. I'm like flipping through my notes frantically. Like, do I have anything I haven't said? I don't think there's anything I've not said. I love this movie, and it's a 5-star movie for me. It's one of my all-time favorites of this era.
Hell yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I feel like we've said like so much about it. I guess one thing that I forgot, I watched it during COVID, and it gave a whole different elements of it.
I bet.
Being in Florida during COVID. Yeesh.
Well, no, I mean, I was home, but I was watching.
Probably enclosed spaces more than Florida specifically, but
there's probably a lot of enclosed spaces in Florida, though.
Yeah,
Kristina, final thoughts.
Aruba, Jamaica. Ooh, I wanna take you to Bermuda, Bahama. Come on, pretty mama.
First of all, how dare you? Secondly,
I'm sorry, but the fact that I will say this: Mike Love at Brian Wilson's funeral, he bragged that like I was the one who actually wrote Good Vibration, so I get all the credit. And I'm like,
all right, we have an after party. We have an after party coming up.
Exactly.
Do you have any final thoughts
up there?
But anyway,
Jesus Christ, you're gonna do this show without me, huh? Anyway.
Yeah, great. Bacall, Bogart. One of probably their greatest like collab. Honestly, you can really tell, even though this is one of the more quieter, subtle roles of her career, I think, especially in regards to working with Bogey. It's a classic. Obviously, the pop culture references have really outlasted, and I don't think a lot of people really understand that that's all from Key Largo.
Yes.
It's a classic, and if you haven't seen it yet, what's wrong with you?
Yeah, it's
and why did you listen to a 2-hour show where we tell you everything about it?
No, it's definitely yeah, it's kind of amazing that he Edward G. Robinson is remembered for playing a gangster, and this is it's a great gangster role, and it's the big one is Little Caesar or whatever. Those are the two.
Yeah.
Delicious.
It to protect.
Pizza. Conan, let's hear those final thoughts.
Yeah, we got to get out of here and get to the after party. This is one of the all-time great single location films, and up there is one of the greatest noirs. As far as single location thing, you don't have like a Hateful Eight without Key Largo. This is influential in very many ways, and you can really the sweaty humidity of the hotel and just the micro tensions, the micro expressions of the actors. It's witty and troubled, and I love that about it. It works really well. We mentioned the Edward G. Robinson of it all. It's very scene stealing. In a movie with Bogart and Bacall, he manages to completely decimate the place. And true noir sensibility here. Easily one of the greatest of all Hurricane set movies, and a great entry into Noirvember. And honestly, a pleasure to talk about, especially with our chief Bogart correspondent, McKenzie Wilkes.
I'm trying to think of other Hurricane movies. I mean, I guess
I know I brought all my Bogart things. I was like, just in case we need to have all of my box sets and
nice.
This is a VHS. I have Key Largo on VHS.
Oh, see, I have a DVD one, but it has that same that same headshot, and then it has Casablanca. I think it has The Big Sleep. It has Key Largo, and
nice.
There's a fourth one that it has, and I can't off the top of my head. I can't remember what it is. Oh, Maltese Falcon, of course. Yeah, those are the four that it has.
Yeah, some of Forrest, a lot of them are not good. Like movies about hurricanes are not good because you get The Perfect Storm, The Day After Tomorrow.
All right, let's talk about it in the after party.
I am really curious about other hurricanes.
Yeah, I'm curious myself. So let's bait that hook.
Oh, I'm curious myself.